All right, everyone, welcome back. We are live with the Daniel Negreanu versus Doug POLK match. As you see, I got a new haircut. As you see, Berkey's in the new office in Toronto, and we're ready to rock. It is 200, 400, no limit hold'em heads up versus the two people you already know. And welcome back, Berkey.
Thanks, man. Thanks for having me.
Always a pleasure. What do you expect to see today, man? I would love to see a nice comeback victory from our man Daniel. He did leave before break with a nice win, then proceeded to come to the Solve for Wise vlogcast and give a little bit of love. And from what I heard, things go well after people go to the Solve for Wise vlogcast, man. Like it's like a little boost, you know?
The podcast run good.
Yeah, a little podcast run good, man. It used to be baby run good, but now we've switched it to come to Solve for Wise and you might win a lot of money. Just kind of see.
I hope that's true. Yeah, I'm excited to see. Talking to Daniel was very interesting. I think that like I want to look at it through a more critical lens of like how he is approaching this now that we kind of have a little bit of insight. So just like knowing offhand that he doesn't prioritize redlining. I mean, we kind of already speculated about this. We already kind of speculated that he was going to play more of a trappy style. He was going to try to punish Doug for, kind of taking over aggro lines. I'm interested to see like how that shakes out, if he's made any adjustments in the time off and things of that nature, just because, it's hard to overcome the red line deficit. If your opponent is, I know Daniel made the example of like, if your opponent goes all in every hand, he's going to smash the red line, but he's not necessarily going to show a profit. It's like, yeah, in that extreme example, that's true. But in this, I guess, more relevant example of heads up, no limit hold'em over a large sample size of hands, if Doug is winning an unfair share of the pots without showdown, it's pretty difficult to make the best hand enough times at showdown to overcome that. So I'm curious to see like what Daniel and his team have in place in order to kind of overcome the aspect that Doug is just like outperforming on rivers right now.
Yeah, I mean, they had a lot of time, right? So I'm curious to see what they're going to come back with because it's a fair amount of time. I think they probably had a decent chance to review all things that made Daniel uncomfortable, and definitely the things that made Daniel uncomfortable had to be some of these big bets, right, off the river. It's clear that that's something that Doug was going for, as well as I think the flop over bet he's been going for a fair amount, like the king 9-7 boards, the ace jack 9 boards have been like flop over bets that we've seen from Doug. So yeah, I'm hyped.
Yeah, I actually kind of think the flop over bet's a little bit easier to defend than turns and rivers, just because like if you overfold slightly on the flop, it's not that big of a deal, and then secondarily, it's like you can kind of continue pretty intuitively. So you just start like folding more of your no pair backdoor hands and things of that nature, which probably fits a little bit more comfortably into what Daniel subscribes to anyway. But when you get to turns and rivers, now it's like really critical that you're continuing with the right percentage of your range, as well as providing yourself coverage, assuming that it's like on turn, for a myriad of runouts. So in other words, like if you're facing a turn over bet of like 2x pot, you still have to continue with like a reasonable portion of your range, I think like 33%. But you also want to have like, it can't just be like top pair plus type hands, right? Like you're going to have some equity. You're going to have some coverage on maybe like middle pair or bottom pair or something of that nature. And that becomes a lot more challenging to kind of like figure out in the moment. So that's where the study is really going to shine through.
You heard it here first. Matt Berkey dissecting the big bet game.
I'm bored for the big bet game, man. I should have just
Just play big bet mix games.
No, I should just. I think I should just like only analyze solver big bets. It's just like, just go through like the pot plus range on every street. Like, what do these notes like?
You should just, maybe your entire strategy should just be you only give the solver the pot or bigger.
Yeah, so like everybody does like the quarter half 75 pot plus and whatnot, right? Like for that whole interval. We're just gonna skip it. We're just gonna do a lot of checking, and then we're gonna go pot, 2 pots, 3 pots, all ins.
All right,
that's it. We're just
gonna feel like that red line might go up. I don't know. It's hard to show down. It's just like you're gonna win. It's like, well, you're gonna check a lot. I mean, it might go up. Yeah.
Yeah. You're gonna check a lot. So I think that's what Daniel was insinuating whenever he said you can lose the red line battle but still win. It's like, yeah, that's true if somebody is over aggressing in a way that doesn't allow them to put in that final bet very often. But Doug isn't just over betting rivers; he's just betting a lot. Period. Right. So like, he's also winning the red line battle at probably half pot and 75% pot. Like if we looked at all the betting intervals for turns and rivers where Doug is winning uncontested, it's not like it's just the overbet node.
So what do you want to see today? That was my actual question.
I would love to see, and granted we don't get to see the cards all the time, but I would love to see Daniel just do a fair amount more of calling if he's not going to be doing more of redlining himself. I think that's the natural counter, right? Is that if you're just going to sacrifice the red line to your opponent, then hero folding has to just like completely be eliminated. And the irony is like Doug is kind of on both sides of the spectrum in the sense that like he puts a hyper focus on redlining himself, but he also puts a big emphasis on not folding. Right, so it's like it seems like it should be a recipe for Daniel to make a lot of money when you have a guy who over bluffs potentially, or at least bluffs a lot, and then also pays at a pretty high frequency. But the problem is that in order to make money, when that's the case, you have to make hands, and that becomes a bit of a challenge.
So on table number 2, we see Daniel go for the 25% pot. Gets check raised to 1500, call. Backdoor flush does come in. Backdoor flush draw does come in. I expect to see a fair amount of continued betting here from Doug. He goes for the small bet.
I think it makes a lot of sense. He still has Jack X in range, 6X, as well as turned backdoor draws, 8, 9, 9, 10, spades. I would expect him to be blocking with maybe his Jack X, if not just checking it, bombing with his 6X, and then bombing with like 8, 9, 4, 5. I'm surprised he checked a 6. Yeah, that surprises me.
Tricky baby.
That check feels counterintuitive against somebody who doesn't seem to be redlining rivers. Like, if we know that Daniel's not over aggressing on rivers, when we have nutted hands like that, we should just try to make him pay, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like a hand. I mean, probably rolled it. Probably hit the little check.
It's all about that roll, baby.
Yeah, at the end of the day, what are you going to do? Ivy taught us well, you just roll the dice.
Ivy taught us well.
It's a lot of things Ivy taught us without him even knowing. Just 3-bet from table number 1, Daniel Negreanu. Doug taking his time. Looks like he's deciding, and he does decide at 10,900. All of it.
All you could eat.
Daniel takes another one.
I like that. I like to see a little spice out of the guy.
Why you say it like that?
What do you mean?
He probably had ace queen suit. My man had
Maybe.
ace queen suit. Nah,
He's bluffing.
Yeah, he had ace 5 suit. He had sixes. Third pot. So new. This is new, right? That size was never used before.
Yeah. I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure a ton of calibration needs to really go into third potting versus quarter pot, 20%. What you know, I mean, like we're really splitting hairs when we're talking about these small sizes. I think like the heuristic that you and I prefer is using the larger of the small size on rainbow boards and the smaller of the small size on two-tone boards, but connectivity changes things a lot. So like 645 obviously changes things a lot more. You may want to increase sizing there, but the idea is just trying to put ranges in the most difficult position you can when they have a lot of continues.
Yeah. I think it's pretty interesting. I'm curious why he changed the size. Like I think he was going 20%. So the evolution was 20%, 75%. Then it was 20%, 40%, 75%, and a pot and a half. And now we're seeing the 33% get thrown in as well. So maybe that means that the I don't think the 20 is gone though. I'm curious to see how this evolves.
Yeah, I think he's only adding tools to the tool belt. I don't think he's getting rid of them. 20% on that particular texture just kind of isn't really a thing. I mean, you can do it, but it's not exactly the best strategic option. So I think 33% makes a lot more sense on that texture, and I think we'll see it on a handful of textures that are comparable.
Yeah, I'm curious if it's a 33% thing now with that strategy. It's gonna be cool. I mean, I like seeing. I wonder what else is in store. Maybe another 5-bet on table number 2.
Yeah.
He calls. He's gonna have a fair amount of pocket pairs and also suited broadways. So this is kind of a all of it. There's going to be a range of like 9s, 10s, maybe some king 3 suited.
Hold the baby.
And
turn him dead.
That's a straight.
Yeah, that I can't read board textures apparently. Let's go.
You getting my man Dan Negreanu off the 5-6 suited with that little 4-bit. I do like. I think Doug played his hand well.
Yeah, I agree. I do agree. I think that, to your point, he's going to be shoving pretty much all over pairs there, taking a hit like king 3 with very little showdown value, good equity to redraw. A lot of Daniel's calls are going to be one pair hands like what he had. So now the king becomes live. Unfortunately, in this instance, Daniel was blocking Doug's straight draw and I guess vice versa to some degree. That's kind of the only problem, right? It's like when you shove and get called, there's going to be some overlapping of equity there. So like when Daniel just has 5s or 5-6 suited or something like that, it kind of hurts your equity ever so slightly.
My man DNEGS is not fucking around. You 4-bet him? No, you 3-bet him? He's 4-bet. You 4-bet him? He's 5-bet.
Didn't he just get 4-bet that pot? He 4-bet and called.
My bigger point, Matt Burke,
or 3-bet called.
He's not going to fold. Check min raise from Daniel Negreanu. New move. I've never seen this one from him yet. On table 2.
Mm-hmm.
He got the fucking new moves, man. He's coming in with like salsa in here. Like You ever been to a salsa class, Bert?
No. Actually,
You learn some new moves.
no, it's a lie. I did. This is a very strange story that I forgot until just this very second. On a first date, I took a girl to Echo and Rig. She was a Brazilian girl, and we hit it off. Everything went great at dinner. We started walking Tivoli Village afterwards, and there was just a random salsa class taking place in some restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
It was awful.
It was awful. Oh man.
It was awful.
How did I do
She
this?
like already knew how to salsa, and I was just like 2 left feet. It was terrible.
Well, you're left-handed, Bert. What are you gonna do?
Not what the phrase means.
Just got a text from a nice lady. She was like, "Stop slouching. I'm watching." I'm like, "All right, you win. I'm not slouching anymore."
She should have been like, "Hey, stop texting."
Well, I'm getting
goddamn
updates.
job.
I'm actually like, I'm trying to multitask and like there's these websites that need me to confirm my ID so that I can withdraw funds, and it's like it's a crazy mess, man. This this new age technology. 2/3 pot from Daniel Negreanu on table number 1. Obviously 653 on table number 2. You like that transition right there?
Nice work.
Doing my job, Jared. River number 2 of diamonds.
So this, I was
Yeah,
just about to
good.
say that's gonna change the
Good.
texture. Daniel's not gonna be doing a lot of big betting there.
Good check, champ. Big bet from Doug on table number 2. He goes for the roughly 66% pot. It's called turn 10. This is bad news for my man Daniel. I think big bets come out.
I had a dream about poker last night for probably the first time in half a decade.
There is the big bet. Continue.
And I know that it was probably closer to a nightmare than a dream because I wasn't actually playing poker. And it wasn't like it was a hand history that was haunting me. I was just discussing poker and fear and bet ranges and sizings, and it was awful.
How everything has changed. River King of Hearts. After Doug goes with the pot-sized bet on table number 2, now deciding what he wants to do. This isn't the best card for him. And he does size down because of it. 3/4 pot, just about. Daniel's in the tank. Daniel will have knowing hands here, right? He'll have like 3/4, 6/7, 5/7, 5/4. You'll also have some good ones.
Yeah, I think he can reasonably call.
And that is a 2-pair for Douglas POLK, aka Micro Stakes.
I think Daniel's gonna be calling with a fair amount of 6x there, especially like 6x that doesn't block the 5. Or sorry, that does block the 5. 5 was
top pair. No, 5 was like second
Part of-
pair. Oh no.
part of the straight draw, right?
Yeah.
Oh no, there
Okay.
wasn't 5. No, because Doug had 10-5.
Yeah.
So it'd be more like the 6-4 type hands. 6-4, 6-7.
Right. So you might have like the queen. Maybe something like that. Like some sort of queen 6, like for top pair. Sorry, whatever top pair was with a kicker that doesn't block the 4 and probably has a heart. Like those kind of hands are kind of auto calls there.
Yeah.
Turnover bet from Daniel Negreanu as Daniel gets 3-bet on table number 1. He calls the 3-bet, wins the pot on table number 2. Jack 7-6, Rainbow 82,000. Sorry, I wish it was 82,000. $8,217. We see B40.
You love the B40s. Was that a wind chime?
It's when it's a pleasantry when someone enters my home.
Mm-hmm.
It's like ring, 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 ring. Raise from Daniel Negreanu. I don't know what you white people call it. It's a nice thing when people enter my home and it makes them feel good. Wind chime. Raise. Call.
More.
10 of clubs. This is an interesting little card, man. 8-9 does fill. I'm not sure how much 8-9 Daniel will raise the flop with, but probably a little bit.
I think he'll have a fair amount of 9x, 8x in his raising range. I would imagine hands like 6, 8, 7, 8, 7, 9 would be the checkbacks. 10, 9 would be the checkbacks. I think his Jack X. I don't know. Can he shove one pair for value here?
Probably not. I think there's a chance he had a 7 or a 6 here.
Yeah, I think that makes the most sense.
Yeah, given the give up and given the fact that he raised flop, makes a lot of sense. Looks like a hand like 6-5 at a high frequency there.
Mm-hmm.
Poker Odyssey in the chat, man, asking who people dated in the chat, doing his thing, keeping things right in this world. I'll be right back. I gotta get my ID so I can complete this transaction. $30,000 pot for Doug POLK. Be right back.
All right, guys. Now that Christian's gone, we can really get down to the nuts and bolts of things. He seems to be a little distracted. He's on those Bitcoin streets these days. I'm over here with COVID. You know, I'm battling it out because that's what a goddamn hero does. And you know, I'm ready for some action. We got DNEGS here on the left, check raising Doug's C-bet. We're gonna see this with a lot of equitable hands on this type of texture. Not really gonna be airballing too much. Daniel should have some clubs. He might have some Queen X with the Queen of Clubs. I think we'll see mostly smallish size bets here, 40 to 60% pot. We see even a little bit smaller, round third pot. Makes a lot of sense. He's going to want to do this with his Queen X that he check raised. He's going to want to do this with his clubs since he is very well protected. That changes the texture once more, as now Jack 10 is a hand that comes through. So we're going to see Daniel probably not doing a ton of bluffing on this river, meaning that he probably won't go huge. Probably something in the neighborhood of 66 to 80% pot. Not surprised to see a lot of checks. Yeah, I would have liked to have seen him bet that one. I understand he doesn't have a ton of bluffs remaining on the river, but I would like to see him forego checking for blocking. I just think, like, at a bare minimum, you get that extra little bet of value out, and if you don't, then you can also just, like, induce potential bluffs out of Doug. So, you know, when Daniel has a blocking range there, it's going to include a queen. It's going to include maybe some 9x. It'll also have some strong hands like straights and flushes and things of that nature. But when Doug has proper blockers, he may feel more inclined to bluff over top of a block bet because there's a showdown portion of that range that just can't call. Whereas when Daniel checks, especially as we've seen thus far through this match, he tends to be a bit on the trappy side. So, you know, now Doug may be a little bit more inclined to be very particular about what he bluffs with, or even potentially under bluff. Also, he gets to choose his sizing, whereas when you block into him, you kind of force him into a specific size. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Jamin, what up? Lily, Odyssey, what's good? Over under. You seem new. Thank you so much. Nice hand there for Doug. 2 kings. Not exactly the board texture he's looking for, but que sera, sera. Just going through the chat real quick. I do have COVID, confirmed yesterday. I have no symptoms outside of I can't taste anything, which is pretty brutal. Actually, it's kind of great. I think this is my opportunity to acquire a taste for kale. But yeah, I'm probably not going to do it. But yeah, the only symptoms I have a runny nose. I can't smell or taste anything. And I guess I'm a little bit on the tired side based on the fact that I went to bed early last night, but maybe not. Otherwise, I really feel fine. Like, I wish I could work out or do normal things, but obviously I can't be in public. Couple of small pots getting battled out here. What did I miss on the right that allowed Doug to take the lead? We saw the 10-5 hand, but that wasn't that big. Doug goes with the overbet on the turn 4 here on the right. This is going to put a lot of Daniel's range in a tough spot. When you have a two-tone flop like that and the turn is a brick Badoogie card, where the backdoors don't come through, and your opponent's very unlikely to have increased any equity, that's a really great spot to go for an overbet. It's going to put a big chunk of his range that continued through the flop into a bad spot. Daniel wins the 3-bet pot there on the right. Wins a small one there on the left.
Yo, I'm back. Put me on the screen.
Oh no. The man has returned.
Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. I came to save the day. I heard we missed a fucking 80K pot or something crazy because I left. I got you, man. This is why I'm here. I got your back. I had to briefly step out because I have to fend for myself now. I can't see the world. So I'm like here making a fire, killing a bird and throwing it on there because I'm quarantined, It's a different life.
If you were ever put into a survival situation,
what?
I would short that market so hard.
Come on, man. You think because like you're gonna short human instinct. Good luck, bro. We fucking fly planes nowadays and go to the moon, and now we're gonna build something on Mars. But you want to short that market.
I want to short you. I want to short you.
Good luck.
Fending for yourself.
Good luck, man. Those people way dumber than me that survived.
It has nothing to do with intelligence.
Okay.
Daniel goes for 66% pot here on the river after calling 3/4 pot on the turn. And
get him, Daniel. I believe in you, and I know you believe in me. You won't short it. You'll take the other side. I got you, man.
I'm just saying, man, you gotta have, some survival skills. And
we've survived on this planet for thousands of years, Bert.
Yes, but the weakest have been killed off.
Really? Because I see fucking 80-year-olds out
strong.
there. I see 80-year-old grandmas out there like banging it out.
Badass grandmas. That's how they made it this far.
Yeah, I'm not badass enough, huh? Okay, no problem. Lay a price.
I did. I offered you. We asked you when we went to Tahoe what it would cost you to stay on the island for one night.
Yeah, I said 100,000.
No, you refused 100,000.
All right. Well, I value myself, and
then we offered you guns.
No, I said I need a gun.
We offered you a gun.
I do need a gun.
A gun. I feel like
a gun. You can't just be out in the street like.
I feel like a gun would be more dangerous to you than no gun. Why not? I spent the night in the desert with no gun.
You spent the night up in the hills. Like, you're fine. I was like straight in the middle of water on an island.
Yeah,
that's different.
No, that's way better.
Yeah, way better. Yeah, way better. And
predators don't swim.
Sure they no, only the badass ones do.
They're not gonna go waste their time on that tiny little island.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they will when they see a Dominican man on there. They'll be like, oh yeah, that island looks real nice. Let's see what he's about. It's crazy. So, Doug Polk is up $10,000. I will definitely short Doug Polk, I'll tell you that.
I think we already have.
No, but I'll short Doug Polk on an island.
Hmm.
You know I would not short on an island? Let me think. Huck seed, I would never short the Huck seed in anything.
Yeah.
But definitely not on an island. And I don't think I would short Garrett because he's been on Survivor and shit.
Mm. You know he's the first one out.
Yeah, but it still counts.
Yeah.
And he was probably the first one out because they didn't like him. 2/3 pot from Daniel. This is kind of new. The 2/3 pot is new. We haven't seen it at all.
Yeah. I don't really think it's that much more effective than 75% when you're talking about river spots.
Where do you think it's? Do you think it's just like unilaterally similar, or do you think it's more unilateral on the river?
Well, I guess my point is that I don't think it's earning him significantly more on the river. It's just allowing him to bet a tiny fraction more of his value range. Mm-hmm. But he could probably get away with that just through the margin of error at 75. So I guess like it probably serves him better on earlier streets, assuming that he's able to balance it.
As you see, there is a poll on the chat. Predators where are they most dangerous? On an island, on a mountain, or on a table?
Table.
A couple different ones in there, you know. It's tough out there. I don't know. What do you think about all these heads-up matches brewing now? Did Phil Goffon start this?
No, I mean, he might have started the idea of putting it out publicly. But
theirs was public, right?
Well, it wasn't like it was before like streaming and things like that were a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I would say maybe Galfond Challenge kind of publicized it in a certain way, but heads up for roll challenges have been around since the dawn of internet poker.
Yeah, that's what we like. You know what's interesting about that poll, right? Is that it was an island surrounded by mountains.
It's in Tahoe. It's in Lake Tahoe.
Correct. So
in Emerald Bay, this island is like 300 square feet.
Yeah, that's even worse. That's not a good thing.
And it has a castle at the top.
There's nowhere to go. Yeah. A castle, a deserted castle, right?
Yeah.
There's fucking dead people in there. Spirits and shit, probably. Fucking brujeria. What do you know about brujeria? You don't know anything about brujeria.
Oh, man, I don't even know what that means.
Exactly. I'm gonna take you to fucking DR and show you some brujeria that you're gonna be like, nah, bro, you're right, bro. I'm not fucking with those people anymore. Brujeria, they'll fucking kill you, bro.
I hear you.
Go to Haiti, they don't mess around. Anyway, I've successfully uploaded my ID. Now I am part of the cloud.
What cloud?
Whatever fucking cloud. It's always the Amazon cloud. There's no other cloud. There's other clouds. There's iCloud and the Amazon cloud. There's no other cloud.
This was all to what are you buying?
Same thing everyone else is buying, bro. Everybody's buying the same thing nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't know what that is, you should probably get in the mix.
Get in the mix.
3/4 pot from Daniel on the turn 7. River 4 lines. That's unfortunate. River. You kind of feel it, right? When the river comes, you're like, that's not good.
Yeah. Although that's probably a river where he needs to start reaching for some bluffs, and some of his one pairs may get turned into it. I don't know what he had, obviously, but
40% takes it down. 10-9-6 rainbow. It's gonna be interesting, man. Like he has a lot of sizes to balance, right? We have the 25, the 33, the 75, the 66, the pot and a half. So now we're at like 5 sizes.
yeah, but like functionally, he really just has one spectrum. And when I say he, I mean both of them. Like when we're splitting hairs between 20%. Like the spectrum between 20% and third pot, the spectrum between third pot and half pot, three-quarters and pot, they're not going to change things terribly. What they offer him is the ability to be slightly less calibrated in any one size, I think. So I think that now it gives him a little bit more room to. Does it matter if he chooses 25 or 33 here? It's probably not going to harm his EV all that much.
Right.
All that really matters is how he reacts on the following street.
Turn 10 of spades. Doug checks. Interesting card, right? A very dynamic card. Daniel comes in with a small size. I like this. Makes things rather difficult for Doug when Doug hands here with like a weak ace, jack plus piece, and that just increases the rate. Give people bet.
Yeah.
But in fairness, that's a great river for Daniel. Woo. You gotta love it.
Dead to the chop. Found it.
So now, right? I uploaded my ID, right? I know people don't really give a fuck, but I say what because maybe every now and then people do care, you know. Mm-hmm. Now they want you to do this like facial recognition thing to make sure the person on the ID is the person that's uploading the thing.
Right.
I think this is getting insane, bro. Like soon, I mean, you're just gonna like prick yourself and like put it on the phone, and then they're gonna be like, "Yep, that's you, all right." Like that's what it's gonna be, bro. Like technology's getting crazy. Like,
I mean, you'll appreciate it whenever your shit don't get stolen.
Yeah, they're gonna be like, all right, we need blood sample, like blood in, blood out.
Mm-hmm. That's right. No messing around.
Yeah, bro. All right, so the results of the poll: 41% for on the table, on the mountain was 35%, and on the island was 22%. So, like the Georgia election, there's no definitive winner because no one got 50% or more. So we need a recount. All right, let's get started. Hold on. Allowed to use camera. Okay, they're verifying it, but I cut my hair. Okay, your request is being reviewed. There's no way I win this.
Denied.
There's no way. I mean, I cut my hair. Like they're gonna be like, what the fuck? No way, dude. That's not you. As we see 9-7, snappy off the bluff. 25,000 going to Daniel Negreanu. My man D-Dom678 getting a little spicy out there. He says, go find some ballots for under the table. Hey, yo. That's a little spicy.
Hey, yo.
More ballots are showing up at midnight. People good with these, yo. same pot sizes on both tables. Daniel now up $1,000, a little yellow chip. And he comes in with 3/4 call, ace, and a straight. Good. Maybe was good with just ace.
I just got a text from a game runner telling me about a game tonight, and I told him I'm COVID positive and can't come. And he's like, "Oh man, eat a lot of hot stuff. It'll push it out of your throat into your stomach acid." Like, solid. That right there, my man, is sound advice.
Yeah, I wouldn't trust this guy to run a fucking game, bro. It's like, I'm bringing my gun to the game. I can't trust this guy to keep me safe. There's no way. You gonna trust this guy to keep you safe?
Maybe he's right. Who knows?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, yeah, maybe the Clorox helps too, or some shit like that. You know? Bro, vapor rub was the shit when I was growing up. If people in COVID, like if you have COVID in DR, they probably just like they vapor rub it. Like you could. Like, vapor rub was everything. Like you have a cold, vapor rub.
Yeah.
You fell, vapor rub. You need stitches, vapor rub. Like,
Sure.
And you think I can't handle the fucking.
I'm pretty sure Chris Rock has a skit about that.
He's not Spanish.
It's about Robitussin.
Oh. Robitussin, what's that? That's like a cold medicine?
Yeah, it's cough syrup.
Yeah,
but he basically says the same thing. Like, no matter what the ailment was, just get some tussin.
Come on, bro.
Gotta get that tussin.
Quarter pot. Call. Queen. Good. Table number 2. Daniel tanking down, and he folds. Daniel now up roughly 10,000. My man Poker Odyssey in the chat saying black people used vapor rub too. Looks like he's gonna create a hashtag or some shit. Jack 6-3. I expect to see a myriad of sizings. And he goes with the big one. I almost said like I caught myself, right? I was like, oh, I think he might throw this. I was like, oh, we expect to see a small. And I was like, not all the time. Not all the time. You could just have a little king queen and just go big. I like this. I like this lead. It's a very good lead.
I don't know if that's true.
It's good. It's 15% lead here on the turn jack.
Yeah, but it's not going to come in at a very high frequency. It's not like he has jack advantage here.
Let's see what Doug chooses here. He goes for pot. It's a pot, baby. Call. 6-6. I think the hand was played well by both players.
Yeah. Yeah, I imagine if the river goes unimproved, Doug's just checking and calling some of the time.
Yeah. I agree, my man. I agree, my man. I agree with you. Things are close today. 5,000. I think they're pretty neck and neck in terms of like what we've seen today. A little bit of new sizings from Daniel. Mostly the same stuff from Doug to the naked eye, at least, right? Like, I'm sure there are different things, right? But they're not as glaring, right?
I wonder how much. I was reading something recently about increasing volatility when you're the dog in a heads-up match.
Mm-hmm.
Or actually, no, I was listening to it on the Brandon Adams podcast with Sauce.
Okay.
And I'm wondering like how much of that could apply to Daniel. It's obviously probably too early still for him to lean into any of that type of stuff. But I wonder if we'll see him. Granted, they were talking about PLO, but I wonder if we'll see him expand some aggressive ranges a little bit in order to bloat pots.
I am curious about that, right? Like, maybe, so you think there is a chance that maybe the rolls become a little bit more aggressive?
Well, like what Sauce was saying, and this was something that I thought about when the original Galfond challenge came out, so I think it's like a really good point to make, is that when you're on a clock like this, with a certain number of hands, and you build up a big lead, like the natural strategy is, if you're in the lead, to reduce volatility or to take away the ability for your opponent to create volatility.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're up, you want to be able to lean into it as much as possible. So, like, and I do think we saw this a little bit in the Galfond challenge when he was down $1 million. I think we saw his 3-bet frequency out of position going way up. And this particularly applies to PLO because you're just not giving that much up. I don't think that the EV difference between bottom of range and unplayable or fringe hands, so to speak, I don't think the EV is all that different. It's not quite as scrutinized as it is in Hold'em. But basically, like, what we didn't see out of Venividi, which we probably should have, is reducing Phil's ability to lean into volatility. So, like, Venividi effectively could have limped
his way to victory.
Well, maybe not to victory, but at least giving himself a pretty strong probability. Like, you just don't give anything up by limping button, or you don't give much up.
You're giving up some, right? I think Venividi, this is the thing, right? Like, Venividi has to decide if he's just overall winning in the match too, right? Like, if he's overall winning in the match, if he's plus EV winning in the match, then with the current strategy, he has to multiply that versus the side bet, right? Like, so
not necessarily, because the match is organic, so it has a certain meta to it, and as hands begin to reduce, Phil's forced into an alternative strategy than the one that he's been playing. So if you know that your opponent has to increase volatility, your natural counter should be to decrease volatility.
We saw first turnover bet from Daniel on table number 1. Just want to make sure that everyone knows that we're still watching, man. We could do it. I'm listening to Berkey on this ear. I'm watching on this eye. Like, but go ahead, continue, Berkey.
Right. So like you're not really giving that much up by limping, but you're reducing the amount of times that you have to play like all in pots, or you're basically reducing the amount of luck factor. So essentially, like, if Venividi's winning, but the amount of times that he's just all in increases by 10%, and now he runs below all in EV, the match is just immediately, like, not immediately, but it's very quickly neutralized. And you could just avoid that by not taking thin spots. So, like, obviously, if you're offered the opportunity to just put all the money in as a 52-48 favorite, you're going to it every single time, because that's how we make a living. But when you do have that side bet up for grabs and you already have a big lead, it's also, like, just worth protecting when there's alternative strategies.
2 4-liners.
Yeah, I guess I'm just curious, like, how much that matters in no limit as well.
Straight. Wow, both players turned the same straight. Kind of a good spot for Doug on the river, right? He's, like, kind of free rolling that spot where it's like unlikely, like almost super unlikely that Daniel contains an ace, or at least he can just very easily bet fold, or in some cases just bet call this hand if he thinks that Daniel will check raise some. But it's going to be hard to find the bluffs there.
I just think he has better hands to do it with.
Yeah. I mean, he could just pop this hand kind of almost like as a semi-free roll, maybe, every now and then. But containing the 7 is bad because he's blocking some. I think he was blocking some 2-pair, or unless I'm forgetting the board. But I apologize.
Well, I guess, like, the point is, I don't think that he's really ever trying to get a 9 to fold, even when he's bluffing in that spot. So it seems like silly to try to add that layer when you have a 9.
Good point. Good point. What is the rake WSOP is making per hand? I believe they are returning all the rake to the players, which is very nice of them. And in exchange, the players are showing this very nice WSOP logo / brand on the felt to the community and to all players and audiences involved, which is I think it's fair for both parties. Flop over bet from Doug on table number 2, as we see a 3-bet pop ruin on table number 1. Small bet from Doug as he wins with the flop over bet. King 10-8 was the board. He throws us the rough quarter pot there on the Queen Jack Deuce after 3-betting. Call, turn of 3. Difficult spot for Daniel.
BS if there's a side bet on this match. Not that we're aware of.
There are many side bets, but they are very kind of hush. They're kind of hushed up. They're out there though. They're definitely in the mix.
Well, yeah, there's definitely a betting market, but I think he means specifically between Daniel and Doug.
There are bets involving those camps, is what I'll say.
Right, but not directly between Daniel and Doug. Not like what Phil did with NEBD.
Correct. Yeah. I don't think that's the case. Their respective teams have bets, I think.
Sure.
Allegedly. I have no idea, but that's what I hear. Could be false, could be true. I ain't going to court for you. Don't put me on the stand. Pot size bet left. All of it. This is annoying for Daniel. Let's see. He's facing pot.
I think he's just like calling here a lot when he has a 10 in his hand. Obviously, I think all 2-pair calls. I think.
Yeah, I think 2-pair would have called by now for sure.
Yeah, I think all 2-pair calls. I think probably most, if not all, Queen X calls, and then we start reaching for like Jack 10. Yeah, I think Jack 10, Ace Jack are calls. They feel bad though. Jack 10, Ace Jack feel bad. Maybe Ace Jacks are calling, Jack 10's not.
Ace Jack feels nice.
Jack
Nicer.
10, yeah, Jack 10 feels like we might be blocking too many of his bluffs, I guess. It's tough to find a 10x bluff though.
Nah, I think 10-8 bluffs. I think 10-7 bluffs. 10.
Yeah. But I mean, Doug's only gonna have those in the suited combos, and
yeah,
isn't always gonna arrive here in this way, especially 10-7.
Calls with the Queen 9. Let's go.
That's a call. Let's go, baby. I know what's going through his head. I have hearts. Hearts are bad to have here, right? Like he's juggling the I have a good blocker in the 9, but I have a negative blocker in the hearts. This is like what we talked about on the podcast, where it becomes very difficult to sort these bluff catchers. I think Doug's hand is very intuitive for a barrel off here.
Yeah, I used to do that shit. You used to make fun of me.
Well, you have to look at the line work here, right? Like we see, I'm really surprised it took Daniel so long to call. So this is a 3-bet pot. Daniel
Come on, Berg. Give the guy a little bit of love, man.
I'm saying it's a great call, but also it's just like this has to be an auto call, right? Like I don't think that's a fringe call by any stretch. Do you?
Let's see.
When we were talking out loud, we said all King X, all Queen X calls. To find the Queen.
Yeah, but his specific Queen X is not one of the best ones, right?
Sure.
Like it blocks the 9 of hearts, which is kind of a really bad card. Like it's a really bad card to have.
So. I don't think so. We're only reducing him by what, 2 bluffs? Ace 9 of hearts and 9 8 of hearts.
I mean, like, there's no reason like 9-7 of hearts can't bluff.
You have to remember, Doug got checked 3 times here in a 3-bet pot. He's not just going to start going off with 9-7 on the flop.
Yeah, that's a good point. At least not all the time, right? Yeah.
Yeah, for sure not. Yeah, I don't think the 9 is super relevant. I think it has stronger blocking properties that we know Doug doesn't have 9-10, and then it does anti-blocking properties that Doug can just find bluffs with 9x.
Yeah, maybe that's what Daniel, at the end of the day, was what tilted him, right? He was just not tilted him towards a call.
No, I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
But I guess what I'm saying is like that hand, given our line work, probably doesn't mix that much. Like I think on river exactly it might mix if we arrive there through a myriad of lines. But when we 3-bet flop top pair and then check 3 times, I imagine that it probably doesn't do too much mixing. Like most queen X is just gonna have to call.
You know, maybe there's a little bit of metagame out there going on. You know, you never know. Maybe he's taking a little longer, letting this guy think like maybe I'll fold his hand. Maybe I'll fold his hand every now and then. You know,
I like that.
I don't know if that's actually happened. I'm just saying, like, you know, I've been there before where like I know I'm gonna call, but I'm like, yo, let me give this guy the illusion that he could just run me over tonight.
Yeah, no, I like that. I like hitting him with the time
real
bank.
Tough.
Yeah, I like hitting him with the time bank with the hands that we know are calls, but like on the surface they don't necessarily look like it. Like he just has king 10 there, right? And he just like totally nit rolls, or it's like
and then this guy thinks he could just run him over.
Yeah. Right, like you obviously snap call with the 9-10, the ace-10, no big deal. Right. Like you got the nuts, but you just really hit him with the nit roll whenever you're holding the queen 10, queen 9.
Yeah, I like it. I hope that's what happened. I don't know if it happened, but I'm just saying I hope that's what happened. Because I've done that before. Just been, man, I don't know. It's tough.
Oh, this is tough.
I hate when it happens to me because I believe them.
If that was live, when that's live, you know, not only do you nit roll them, but then you tap the table, you're just like, man, that was a really good bluff. Like, I almost got through. I really almost folded as you're like, you know, scooping the chips and stacking.
Must scoop the chips.
This is what I suffer through when I play the big game. I run a bluff like that on the river, get nit rolled by some old man, and then as they're stacking the chips, like, whew, that was a tough one. I got to give it to you. I almost folded. 4s. You had 4s, huh? Wow. Would have never thought you had 4s. Thought you had the straight.
So, big pot brewing on the right table. Check to Daniel.
Love to see it though.
Pot
making those big river calls. That was kind of like what we were insinuating needed to change.
I think he did it because of you. He thought about you, Bert, today.
I don't think that's true.
I really do.
This is kind of an interesting size here.
Call. King. Nice. Flush, baby. Pot. My man is in the fucking... Bro, Daniel... Listen, Daniel. Do the post-game interview with us, man. You're getting all the love here, bro.
Yeah, I'm curious to see... was this a 3-bet pot or
we're about to see pot? As you see our WSOP replay.
Okay, so it was just a 3-bet pot. That makes a lot more sense.
Bet, call. Another, ooh, nice little third pot on the turn, and pot-sized bet on the river. I like this.
Yeah. The reason in real time I said that size was a little bit conspicuous is just because I didn't think Doug would have a lot of ace high. But knowing now that it was a 3-bet pot, obviously he has a ton of ace high, other pocket pairs, things that can call.
Yes, sir. That is correct. 3-bet pot on table number 1. Daniel's got to be feeling good about this session so far. It's he's playing well, I think, and things are going his way. Queen 10-3. I think this board is going to be shared, but I think still favoring Doug in my opinion. B40. Landon's favorite phrase, at least to me at least.
Landon's favorite phrase is more.
That too. That one tilts the shit out of me, actually.
Yeah.
Deuce of diamonds, not changing the board. I mean, sorry, not changing the EVs for Daniel that much, but definitely going to be favoring Doug generally, as we do see a big size come out. This is roughly 2/3 pot.
Giving this sizing matrix, I would expect Doug to be pretty equity driven here. I imagine that like he's gonna have a lot of really strong showdown value, and then be quote unquote semi bluffing, I guess, a lot.
The semi bluff is back.
Well, it never left. It's just like the point I'm trying to make is that I don't think he's gonna set up a river spot where SPR is like 0.6 if he has a bunch of air balls in range. Now, I could see him having a hand like Ace Jack and doubling off like that in order to check river. I think that would have made a lot of sense. But I guess my point is I don't think we're going to see very much 9-7.
Danny goes with a big bet on the flop on table 2. Turns a 5, goes check, check, rivers a 10. And this is probably going to... I think Doug's going to have like 2 different sizes here. Probably a small and a big. You know, groundbreaking analysis there.
I'm not so sure that he does much blocking. Oh, I'm wrong. I guess that this is just going to be his 5x region and then some 10s to protect. Oh, wow, he went for it with king high.
Yeah, that's kind of cool, I think.
That's kind of interesting, though. Do we think ace high is folding to that size? Because I'm pretty confident queen high is not calling.
Yeah, some ace highs might fold because the turn was specifically a 5, or was like, which is pretty good. Depends which ace high, I guess. He's definitely targeting ace high. You also can get better king high to fold.
Yeah, I think that's fair. King queen and king jack probably fold.
4 bets
or bluff.
4 bets on table 1. Winner, winner, winner.
So this is another thing that I've kind of noticed in the last couple of sessions. Daniel's defending against the 4-bet a little bit less frequently, and I think that that's pretty good. I think in the early sessions, he was in a lit C3 kind of mode, and Doug just proved that he was going to be all in a lot in 4-bet pots, especially because he seems to 4-bet at a lower frequency than Daniel does. So whatever pre-flop charts they're operating off of, Doug seems to be a little bit less aggro in the 4-bet node. And for those reasons, I think Daniel should just defend a little bit less. You know, kind of like steer the volatility in his favor whenever he's the aggressor and steer away from it a little bit when he's the passive player.
Min check raise comes out again. Table number 2, ace 6-5. Saw the quarter, met with the check raise. Min. Yo, all these old school moves are back, man. Remember that I used to get check min raise at the Caesars 1-2? And I was like annoyed.
The difference is you had to fold. That's why you were annoyed.
I was just, you know, I was out there, man.
They just had it.
Check, and then they check. He's literally playing against John from Caesar. He's playing John's from Caesars 1-2. John's 1-2. Maybe he was a boss. He was fucking check min raise and then check the turn.
I'm surprised that he just has a straight fold there, unless the min raise was a misclick. That very well could be.
Nah, I don't know. We've seen 2 of them already. He might have misclicked twice, but I don't know. He probably had a 5.
Mm-hmm. Do you think that it would be better or worse for the stream to display the tables in big blinds?
Nah, bro. People want to see 100,000 on the table. People don't want to see 200 big blinds or 250 big blinds.
I don't know, man. I think it helps a lot in the sense of being able to follow the sizing and being able to understand. Also, you could just tossle it. You can go back and forth. But I think like anybody who's watching for strategic reasons, it probably helps a ton. Especially since
I'm vetoing this shit. Nah, bro.
Especially since they're using hotkeys.
This is a hot. This is. Let's keep it like real, man. Like it's about the money. Like, it's not about these big blinds and solver and all that. Like, some people want to know about money. Like, I don't know. I'm not. Fine. If the chat wants it, I'll do it. But all I see is big blind, big blind, big blind. Bunch of fucking nerds.
Well, you can't have both because it's a separate program that converts, but you can toggle. So you can go back and forth between big blind and cash. Wow. This kid just big times everybody. No strategy is the best strategy. Three-bet pot here on the right. 8-6 deuce. Gonna see a lot of checking out of Doug on this type of texture. I imagine Daniel bets small here a fair amount, something in the neighborhood of 2,700. Some of his showdown value will check back. His better ace highs and king highs. Oh, look at that. We nailed it. 2,740. So he'll start checking back hands like ace 10 plus, king 10 plus, and maybe like queen jack no backdoor, depending. This is a good card for Daniel to kind of go off on. He will have queen jack of spades, queen jack of clubs, maybe some queen jack offsuit with like the queen or jack of clubs. He'll have plenty of 10x, 10-9, 10-8. He'll also have 9-7. I think we can see 75% here at a pretty fair rate, and we do. Doug's still going to be calling with piece and equity, anything that possesses a 7, a 9, a pair, obviously continuing. The queen is a little bit more favorable to Daniel, I think, than Doug. I think we can see an all-in here from queen jack or better. So all of Daniel's two pair will be shoving. Queen 9 feels a little bit thin. Probably just check that down. Whew. Although if he's getting called twice by 6-7, probably should be shoving a lot wider for value on the river. So that ultimately shows down. Daniel loses to 6-7. I'm trying to place what his hand is there. Maybe a hand like ace 7, a hand like ace 9. Those hands make sense. King 7, king 9. Those hands make some sense. Although at that point, of the hands that you bet on the flop, they probably start to serve you pretty well as a bluff. Yeah, we're not gonna have too much in the way of jack high since jack 9 makes a straight. Jack 7 isn't going to want to check down. That's going to be one of the bluffs we would choose for sure. When he chooses to bet flop and bet turn, I imagine that he has a pretty high density of 7x, 9x in range. The only unpaired ones I think we're going to see that would check down river would be ace 7, king 7, ace 9, king 9. But I think that there's probably a strong argument for just bluffing off with those, since we're not going to have many other hands to bluff with.
I'm back.
It's nice to have you, Shin. Thank you.
I was letting you finish your analysis on that one. That was really good, actually.
Thanks. I think he should have gone for it, man.
I didn't see it. I didn't get to see it until the end. I saw that Doug had 6-7 hearts, which is it didn't feel like a strong hand.
It was not. I'm gonna take a quick break whenever Daniel sits out for the first time. What are you doing? What are you doing? Yeah, bone broth. I need to take some bone broth.
I'm finishing killing the chicken.
Hmm.
Do you know Gags grows chicken?
Like in his backyard?
Yeah.
For eggs?
Yeah.
Yeah. I never understood that really.
Feels tough.
It's a lot. It's a lot of work for like pretty minimal gains.
Got fresh eggs, bro.
Yeah, but they're not that expensive to just buy fresh eggs. It's not like these chickens are laying Bitcoin.
I wish chicken were laying Bitcoin. I'm buying chicken too.
3-bet pot by Daniel that we're replaying. 6-6 deuce. He goes big. Bombs again on the turn 3. Seems reasonable.
Daniel was 100K pot though, as we cut away there.
Have to see that one on the replay.
Daniel.
Oh, we might have missed it.
No, he bet half pot, I believe, on the river with a straight and got shoved on and called. And here you'll see it again. Raise call. Oh, raise 3-bet. I like 4-bet call.
Oof.
Yeah, I mean, this is unfortunate. Like flopping a straight and a 4-bet pot is just like.
He did not flop a straight. What are you talking about?
Sorry. I mean, rivering a straight and a 4-bet pot. Like, I don't think you can fold.
I don't know that that's a defend pre. I don't know, man. I mean, I'm not super sharp on heads up ranges, but 5-3 suited seems a little bit wide.
I think the thing. Yeah, I mean, I think he just has to do it sometimes. Like, I don't know. Maybe not.
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't know. It's one of those new things. I got a fruit salad too. It's just crazy. I picked it out myself, bro.
Good for you, man. Happy to see it.
No, I mean, like, I literally picked it out. Like, I went to the tree and shit.
Oh, sure. Yeah, pretty unfortunate river for him there to improve to a straight when Doug improves to a flush.
Big raise from Doug. Table number 2. After facing roughly 60 something.
Not that big. It's only about 2/3 pot raise. Oh, the rip. Oh, that's a big shove. Love to see it. Love to see it. Oh man, happy for Polka. Says charts say you can defend 5-3 suited like 1% of the time. And then it's also a rare 3-bet. So yeah, I mean, like, sounds like Daniel's kind of out on a limb there a little bit. Obviously, you know, everybody has their own charts to some degree. Three bet by Daniel. We're replaying. Oh, this is a different hand than I thought. It's a pretty big bet on the end out of him. I mean, it got Doug to just call. I'm surprised Doug just called also.
I have good friends. They saw the delivery and they were like, "What are we gonna do? Because I know you're quarantining, but you might have to owe me $100." So
it's true.
I was like, "No, chill. I don't even have a kitchen right now. Like, I have no kitchen available. Like, I'm in a quarantine with no kitchen. So I need a restructuring on all these."
You don't know how to cook anyway. What's the difference?
I mean, I can cook basic things like that will keep me healthy. Eggs. I can make a little bit of like something, throw something in the oven that might, you know, maybe throw an air fryer. I heard these air fryers are the new craze. As we see a big raise.
The sizing intrigues me. I'm not sure why we're going with 29,000 instead of all of it. I can't imagine the difference between balancing a, what is that, pot? No, it's less. So 30 in the pot, shoving, so it's like a 66% pot raise as opposed to closer to a pot shove. I feel like Doug is kind of between a call and a shove here, not between a call and a fold. But I could be wrong. I think he likes to get a little thin when there are these sizes left behind. Happy for Polka says he's using K-Rab's charts. Makes me want to trust it a little bit more.
Straight, my man, DNEGS.
Good. And just like that, he's going to sit out. Chin, why don't you talk to the people for a few minutes? I'm going to run and grab my bone broth.
All right, my man Daniel is taking a break. He's up $70,000 today. I am very happy with the things I see. Killing the game right now. I like the way he's played. I like the way he's played so far. I think he has to be feeling good. He just has to be feeling good for sure. Okay. Let's see. The 5-3 suited. Tell us which altcoins to get on. I'm not the guy. I am the person that listens to other people to get on stuff. I'm not the person that tells people to get on stuff. I'm a layer removed from that. Okay. Just assume they ran with the cloud ranges. Everything's in the cloud, man. Everything's in the cloud. PN says pre-flop sims take even longer to converge to true GTO solutions. Allegedly, I don't know. I'm not sure. $89,000. Daniel Negreanu is back. $89,000 on table number 2. Almost $100,000 on table number 1, and the action continues. Joshua in the chat says GTO is a line in a big hypercube, bro. GTO is what it is. It's a thing. It's a thing we talk about. It's a thing we theorize. It's a thing people think they know. It's a thing some people maybe do know. I don't know. Small size from Daniel. 3-bet on table number 1. Check raise. Use the small check raise size. Or the small check raise in accordance to the size of the pot. Winner. Queen 5-4, he goes with the 3rd pot. Call. Turn 6. Interesting card. Curious to see how Daniel approaches it. He does choose the check. He goes with the river. River comes to 9. I think he probably wants to value bet as far down as his best 6. Some of his best 6s that flow to the flop. Goes with the check. Ace 3 seems good. He has some showdown value with that hand. Can't get called by worse. Doesn't want to turn into a bluff. Nice hand, Daniel. 11,000 on table number 2. It's table number 1, excuse me. As Daniel goes with the check on the turn. I believe this is just single raise pot after flop bet. Comes with roughly 3/4 pot. Three river, 27,500. Daniel will be protected here. He'll still have some flushes. He'll still have straight. Three's also in range as like having a 3-5, 4-3 combo. Of course, Daniel will have a fair amount of ace X's as well. Those are going to be put into a tough spot. But he snaps it 5-4. Let's go. I told you he can have a straight. That's a really good line by him, I think, there. Keeping that straight intact, allowing him to run it for thin value with the ace of hearts jack, as we see the replay. 900 3-bet. Oh, this was a 3-bet pop. Excuse me. Goes with the small sizing, gets called, and then plays perceivably deceptive with the trap. Very nice hand. Yeah, I think he played this pretty beautifully. I like the small bet size on the flop. I like the turn check on a card that generally you will be playing a fair amount of checks on after the small bet size. And then he goes with the check call, and value cuts. Doug Polk getting a little bit thin with the ace of hearts jack. Although it seems like a very standard bet by Doug, but in my opinion, it makes Daniel tougher to play against when he has hands like that. You can't just get thin every time and expect to not get value hit. So nice hand. That's going to shoot up Daniel to 95,000 in profit. And we are approaching the top of the hour. We will see how long Daniel wants to play tonight. Usually when Daniel is, playing well, he tends to play longer. So we don't know when this is going to end. Scott Haley says, Chin, what part of Jersey are you from? I'm from the south side. That's what he said. I am from North Jersey. I live right next to New York City. So from my window, you can see New York, pretty much. You can see the skyline kind of thing. So yeah, it's awesome. I love the area I live in when I'm in Jersey, but for business reasons, for poker reasons, I have spent a lot of time in Las Vegas in the last recent years. So yes, I live in Hoboken. So that's where I'm at. It's a nice plush area. It used to be like pretty gangster before, but like now it's like expensive to live there because all the people from New York want to move there because it's cheaper than New York and you're still very close to New York. And it's a lot of bars and good-looking Jersey women. Check raise from Doug Polk after the small c-bet from Daniel, which was roughly 1/3 pot. Winner. 3-bet from Daniel Negreanu on table number 1, 4,200. As Doug Polk tanks down, we often see a 4-bet after the tank down. He tends to call rather quickly, and there it is, 10,900. Interesting spot. Takes it. Single raise pot on table number 2, Jack 5-5. Probably gonna see the small sizing. There it is, quarter. Slightly over quarter, but yeah. Turn deuce, interesting because Daniel probably have a myriad of sizings here. I don't expect a massive one though because of the 5 presents. Check, check. Daniel can have a myriad of hands. He can have like some middle pocket pairs that check back. You can have some traps with the jack. You can have some ace highs. You can have some delayed bluffs. So this line's very protected from Daniel. Nice check down. Probably had an ace high combo. Maybe a king high combo himself that just like checked down. Somewhat similar situation, but not exactly on table number 1 now for Doug on the 9-5-5. A little bit different because of the presence of 6-8 and 6-7, of course. He starts with the 3rd pot size. Gets called turn 7. Generally will favor Daniel. Although Daniel will have still some nothings. He'll have some ace highs, king highs, and some overcards, but generally this card is good for a fair amount of Daniel's continues. He does choose to check. This card should lower the frequency from Doug, and you do see him check back. I like this size from Daniel. This size kind of means he can value bet up to a 7, down to a 7, and also just like allows him to bluff cheaper with his like overcards that floated, like Jack 10, etc. And he does have a straight. Nice hand by Daniel there. I do like the size. I don't think he has to like overbet that one. I don't think that's the right texture for it, in my opinion. But I like the size. Nice hand. As we see another overbet coming out of Daniel on this river. Takes it down. Nice hand by Daniel on both spots. Question from Richard. Chin, I need some of your moves for the shorties. What should I do for my girlfriend's birthday in lockdown? The answer to that question will be answered by how many kids you currently have or don't have. So if you have no kids, I have an idea for you. If you have kids, I have another idea for you. There you go. Welcome back, Matt Berkey.
Thank you. Is there any truth to the fact that you're going to grow a Matt Hunt beard?
I will have to check in with the board of ladies.
Sure.
I'll let you know what they think, and then we'll make a decision.
Andrew Fiorentino says, where's the hoodie I ordered on December 1st? Still don't have it. Shoot us an email. Shoot us an email at that address, and I will have my manager look into it. Andrew.
Ace for Daniel. That's 10,000 going his way. Richard says, no kids. That seems like a lot of commitment for a birthday present. Well, you didn't say which birthday it was. You know, it could be your 20th birthday, or it could be her 20th birthday or 40th birthday. Women want different things on different birthdays, man. I need more context here. You know what I'm saying?
Are you implying that he should give her kids for her birthday?
That's not what I said. You could extrapolate however you want.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. 10-6 deuce rainbow. Probably going to be a board where we'll have big bet and check backs in, and he does go with the check back. That's kind of cool. Richard says she's 31 now, so maybe a little old for you. Listen, man, it's not about me. It's about you, man. Is she old for you? Like, don't worry about me. I'm not trying to take your girlfriend. Like, I'm not meant to steal your girl. Like, I'm just here trying to help you. Why are you worried? Why are you throwing me in this? Like, why are you asking? Like, is she too old for me? She's your girl, not mine. Like, why are you trying to bring me in it? Like, I'm just an observer. Nice hand from Daniel. Wins it with King High Showdown. Interesting pot here, as this pot goes 3-bet check from Doug, 6-4-3, small sizing used from Daniel. Check raise. Oh, baby. This construction from Doug is going to have some hands. He's going to have some overpairs. He's going to have some clubs. He's going to have some spades. He's going to have, oh, all the chips. Call. You need to, he doesn't hit it. And kings are going to win. Big pot there. Now both players have deep stacks on table 1. That's a big pot. Big pot poker.
Yeah, I think that both sides make sense. I think Daniel would like to have a club taking that line.
You're saying you would prefer a club?
I think so.
Just for like the emergency equity over like when the turns a club and stuff.
Yeah, I think that like a lot of Doug's strongest equitable hands that check raise there contain the 5 of clubs, and that's not really great for us because we don't really dominate any of them. I guess exactly 5-4 of clubs if the 4 was not a club, but I doubt that that's true. We're just gonna face like 7-5 of clubs. Ace-5 of clubs. I guess like, you know, that's not that big of a deal. We do kind of dominate that hand, but oh, Mr. Gatsby, you've decided to join us.
10-9-3. Table number 1 as Daniel wins the 3-bet pot on table number 2. Comes with the 40, B40. Results for the poll came in, and they said that for me to grow a Matt Hunt beard, they would like it if it was only done if dyed red. And that was 51% of the polling, so even it counts even in Georgia. But I will say that it's not gonna happen, man. There's no way. Like, there's no way. Somebody offered me $5K to wear a wig for a month. I can't do it. It's just not enough. Not enough money, I think. But every time I say not enough money, I feel super guilty, like deep inside. Like, you just offer someone $5,000 on the street that really needs it, you know, and you just all you gotta do is wear this wig for a month. Like, what kind of fucking privileged person am I that like I just say that's not enough? Like, that's kind of like fucked. Like, that fucks with my head a little bit, I think.
It goes the other way too. You're also accepting money at the entertainment value of somebody else.
Sure, but we all have when you accept money, it's always an exchange. Yeah. Money is a mean of exchange, right? I don't always think it's entertainment. I think it's like someone wants to see you go through pain, like, so they pay for it. They pay you for the pain, you know?
Maybe in your world.
Yeah, in my world, they always pay me for the pain because they think I live in comfort, you know? That's the world that I live in. 16,000 from Doug. Winner takes it down. Little run from the enemy side today, at least so far. A little bit of a comeback kid.
What do you think Doug's check raise folds are on that 6-4 3 board, 2 clubs, and a 3-bet pot?
6-4-3. Probably 6-4-3, 2 clubs and a spade. Feels like an 8-7 is kind of nice. Maybe like a 9-8 is kind of nice. Maybe like 6-4-3. Yeah, I think it's probably built around that area. Maybe maybe a Jack-10 of spades.
Yeah, I guess that's why I was leaning into wanting to have the 5 of clubs as opposed to not. Just because like I would prefer not to get called as often, but if we just assume we're getting called a lot anyway, then I guess it's better not to have the 5 of clubs. That way at least we're dominating some of his calling range.
Fair. Yeah, you probably get called a little bit more often when you have the 5 of clubs. I mean, when you don't have the 5 of clubs, right?
Yeah.
But if he has the 5 of clubs, then we're winning, right?
Well, maybe.
Right,
I can't remember.
Right, he could have 6-5 of clubs, I guess.
Yeah, I can't remember what the non-club was, but yeah. We're winning, but like, you know, we're a dog against 7-5 of clubs.
Right.
Or actually, we're not even winning. That's just nuts.
Yeah, I know what you meant though.
But like we're a dog against 8-5 of clubs.
That kind of a hand class is what you meant. Right?
Yeah, like 8-5 of clubs would just have us in bad shape.
3/4 pot, table number 2. Dana goes for the bluff on table number 1. Seems fair. Gets caught. So this hand probably went check flop, turn 3/4 pot, call, river ace. Kind of a river card that's better for Doug, I think. Overbet. I like this because a fair amount of Daniel is going to check if he had like, let's say like an 8 to check back and throws a 3/4 pot. Like any bet on this river is rather polar if Daniel was to bet, as in he's just gonna have a lot of check back. So a bet doesn't come out too often, is what I'm actually saying.
Yeah, it's a weird spot when he lands on river with like a good ace and a heart. It's like ace queen with a heart, ace king with a heart. But I think he could actually fit them into this size. As those hands do kind of unblock Doug's bluff catchers anyway. Doug will have the ace of diamonds in range. He'll have 8x that can check call this at some frequency. He'll have 9s.
Winner. Pot size bet on table number 1. What is your price on the wig for a month, Chin? I don't know, man. I don't know. Flush. Bricked.
Flush.
Bricked. That's trips, baby, for my man Daniel Negreanu. $106,639. And don't forget about that 37 cents.
You really had the board on lockdown there.
Yeah. Lock it up. And give my man the 3 high on the river. 3 bet, 4 bet. 4 bet sizes have increased.
That's the biggest 4 bet size I think we've seen.
Yeah, that's correct.
Now, I understand that 4 bet sizes are going to change as stacks get deeper. Do you think 3 bet sizes should also be changing? So Doug's opens don't really change much at all. They go from like 2.2 to 2.25. It's pretty negligible. Obviously, it matters somewhat. Otherwise, he wouldn't do it. But I can't imagine it's changing things too drastically. Do you think Daniel's 3-bet size then should go from 10.5 to 11 or 12?
I think I've seen people have, like, in the cash games I play, I think a lot of people use the bigger 3-bet with the deeper stacks. And for a long time, I think I've done the same thing. So,
well, I think in Ring, I think in Ring games you're going to be doing a lot more of dynamic 3-bet sizes. So you're probably going to have a multitude of 3-bet sizings. You're not just going to be fixed to one.
Sorry. Yeah, I think generally I've always used the bigger 3-bet size when deep. So that's generally the rule that I've abided by. But I've seen other people use different sizes, and I think I've seen in Doug use smaller sizes sometimes when they're deep, or at least not increase sizing. So I'm curious to see what those heads up solutions look like, you know?
Yeah, I mean, there's a ceiling to it. You can only increase your size so much. You can't just start going from a 10 big blind 3-bet size to a 15 or 16 big 3-bet size. And as you see, Doug's size is actually a lot smaller than Daniel's, choosing 9. To me, it makes more sense that the deeper you get, the more flexibility you have in sizes, so the more likely you are to use a multiple of sizes. It's kind of interesting too, because Daniel opens larger than Doug. He opens to a full 2.5, where Doug is at like 2.5. Or sorry, 2.3. And then Doug chooses a smaller 3-bet size than Daniel does, where Doug goes to 9, Daniel goes to 10.5. So there's definitely a little bit of a discrepancy. Yeah, it makes me wonder how much EV is really being exchanged there. My gut instinct tells me very little, but the fact that POLK is rigid one way and Daniel's rigid the other makes me think that one of them knows something the other doesn't.
Information asymmetry.
I mean, that's the nature of the game, right? We wouldn't play if that weren't true.
Big bet from Daniel. Check raise. Not necessarily a board, I think. Okay. This is a tough one, right? Because
I think facing that size, Daniel actually has the availability to 3-bet on a board texture like this.
That's above my pay grade, Burke. I don't know. What is he gonna 3-bet?
I mean, you mean like hands-wise?
Yeah. Like Queen 10 or something? Like, that seems too good.
Queen 10 is probably too good. I think it's going to be more of like the 5-6, 6-7 region. And then sets, potentially like top 2 pairs. Although I think I think top 2 pair really wants the 3-bet because of how many available straight draws Doug can be check raising.
That makes sense. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's a lot of tricky ones here.
Yeah, I think you would want to build it around the Jack 8.
I think it's really easy to get like overly check raising. Like, you can check raise too many hands on this kind of board because there's so many available hands to check raise.
But you kind of get bailed out a little bit by the equity available. Huge bet on the right. Daniel leads for 80% on river. Doug check raises pretty massive, 14,000 into 7,000. So about 2x pot check raise, or yeah, check raise. I'm not really sure what Daniel's thinking about here. Do you think facing 2x pot here, we have to discriminate between our ace-x, or do you think that just they're all calls and we just start folding our bluffs and our 9x and our 6x?
Well, I don't think he's gonna have 6x for that size on the river.
Right.
He might have like some good.
Well, like pocket pairs. Also like pocket pairs. 10s, jacks, queens.
Yeah, the pot was kind of small for those hands though. So he might not have those hands that much, I guess.
Sure.
So
it makes sense. If it's raise call, he's probably going to check at least one street.
Yeah. But it felt like the pot was $2,100 on the river, or like $20 something $100, right?
Yeah. So kings and queens could easily have checked to get there.
Yeah, it makes sense. So it was probably like one bet, like a very small bet went in on the flop, and then a check to the river. I don't think you can fold too many ace X's. I mean, I don't think I would fold an ace X, man. Unless, yeah, I don't think I'm folding an ace.
Yeah, I don't think we have to fold any aces just because we're bluffing so often there.
Yeah, I wouldn't fold an ace, I think. Seems like pretty well to fold one. I don't think I would even fold like 9-6 if I had it, but it's unlikely that we have it because of the way the board ran out. Another check raise. So we've seen the big bet size used by Daniel on these boards, and these check raises seem to be coming in more often than they were in previous sessions from Doug, and they're also very small.
When you face big bets on textures like this, there's a lot of win rate to gain or skill edge to gain, I think, through those small check raises, just because you begin to uncap your range, and now you have initiative the rest of the way through. Now, obviously, Doug could just be following solver outputs and saying, like, I have candidate X on this texture, so therefore I check raise. But the point is, especially against somebody who potentially under bluffs, seizing initiative and increasing that red line, which is what Doug's been very good at, is just worth way more than taking a hand like, say, 6-7 and just check call, check call, check call. Because when that occurs, Daniel's just more likely to have a better hand after betting multiple times.
Goes with the third pot winner. Very likely that Daniel had like overs there. Had to peel flop.
Yeah. I just think that line work out of Doug is very beneficial to the meta that's kind of like taking place, where if the red line is going to get forfeited to you, it only benefits you to take advantage of the gray areas where ranges aren't well defined. So once Doug check raises there, he becomes very uncapped. Once Daniel calls, he's a lot more capped, and I think that only benefits the red line narrative for Doug.
I don't think I agree with everything except the last part. I don't think Daniel is capped at all when he calls the check raise. I think he could play. I
just said more capped.
Okay,
he's just more capped than the check raising range.
More capped than the check raising range. Okay, I see what you mean. Yeah. Okay.
Just because facing that size, I imagine we start to 3-bet at some frequency. It certainly isn't 0, but we've thus far seen 0.
Yeah. Small bet from Daniel. The return of the quarter pot. Gray areas, red lines, like so many goddamn colors, man.
That's how data is displayed.
Some people say data, some people say data, the red line, the green line. Some people want eggs from the supermarket, other people you get it from the chicken. There's too much going on, man. This world is insane. You guys ever dabble in the heads-up streets? Most of the heads-up I've played literally have been like when games break down at the Win or at Bellagio, like, and then I'm just like, don't want to rack because my ego is too big at the time. And I'm like, I'm not getting up until you get up. I'm not sitting you out. I'll play here all night, you know? It's just ego bullshit that like I had at the time. Yeah, I mean, they were profitable for me, but thankfully, at least, you know, I'm not saying I was better than the person or anything. They were profitable for me at the time. Probably ran good, and then yeah. Now if it happens today, I'm like, bro, I mean, I'll play if you really want, but like, I kind of just probably should go home, you know? Like, it's fucking 4 a.m. Like, it's like, now this guy wants to play heads up. But then there's also like a little, like if the person is stuck, like I'll play because I want to give the guy a chance to like get even, you know? Especially if he lost it to me.
I've quit like some crazy profitable heads up spots. Where it's just like on the tail end of an 18-hour session versus a wreck and I can't see straight anymore. It's like, I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm gonna have to hang this one up.
3-bet from Daniel, 36-20. King 10-4. Let's see what kind of sizing Daniel chooses. If he does, king high board gets off the bet. He's tanking down. Goes with the check.
What happened?
The birds, man. The birds I'm killing. They're some of them are coming in trying to see what's up. Like check flop. Turn comes king of hearts check as Daniel 3-bets on table 1. 4 bets.
Now, this is a smaller 3-bet size than Daniel had been using before, which led to a smaller 4-bet size.
5 bets. Yo, Daniel is fucking tonight. What I'm talking about, man.
Last time we saw a 5-bet pot, it was aces versus kings.
Yeah. Winner.
Wins.
So maybe had the king 5 suited again.
I do like a lot about Daniel's game today. It seems like he has made some adjustments. It's difficult to put my finger on exactly what those adjustments are. You know, it could be anywhere from he actually has the hand to bluff catch with to he's actually reaching for some bluff catchers that he was otherwise folding in the past. Any event, I think that he is playing pretty well. Definitely seems like he's putting Doug in some spots.
7s, good. 40,000. Ship the money.
40,000.
Let me ask you something, Burke.
Yeah.
Is there ever, so you've had this kind of problem come to you, right? Where like the short sample of kind of sways the opinion of the public. Do you think that ever could have been the case here? Like what if Daniel was already playing pretty well, but you know, because we don't see the hands and he's losing some pots and like we're in a short sample, it sways the opinion.
Yeah.
Like,
but like
I'm not saying it is or it's not the case.
For myself,
I'm just asking.
Yeah, both for myself and Daniel though, I think that sample size can certainly imply that we're playing worse than we actually are. But I also think that there are clear errors that you can just see occurring. Like I've made a lot of mistakes that have led to losses. And yeah, you know, it may just be taken out of context from a small sample size, but also it's just like you're judged on your body of work. So I do think that like obviously he's running very badly. And obviously like there's plenty of river spots that we don't know what the hell he has. And he might just be folding because he's constantly at bottom. But also I think there were some identifiable mistakes. And if we can see them, Doug can definitely see them. So I imagine that it's kind of a compounding thing where it's like the small sample and the run bad just kind of shines a brighter spotlight on what you're doing wrong.
Yeah.
And then, you know, it ultimately leads to the compounding loss of EV where your opponent's able to pick up on it.
My man C Devil 910 says Soto tries to act so hard. Soto tries so hard to act like he's intelligent. I don't know what to say, man. I mean, I am who I am. I don't know if it comes off as if I'm trying to act intelligent, talking about the red line and the blue line and all these things. I mean, I don't know. I am who I am. If that offends you, then there's 3 other channels showing this exact match, and
I mean,
you're welcome to go there.
Why can't you just be intelligent?
Listen, you're born with an IQ. You do the best thing you can, and you run with it. If some people deem you intelligent, then you are, and if some people don't deem you intelligent, then whatever, man. It's the same thing. Some girls think you're good looking, some girls think you're not good looking. You live your life and don't try to like appease everyone else. That's it. 14,000 on the river, table one. I'm having a great time. My man Daniel's up to 85,000. There's nothing anyone can say. like, it's all good, man. It's all good. Pot size bet from Daniel. Interesting. Deuce winner.
Hello.
Curious that Daniel went with the third pot on 9-4 deuce. This is one that he's been kind of going with the big size. So I guess I'm curious to see.
Well, remember third pot now is a bigger size for him. I understand you're saying usually he goes 75 there, but he just might be doing a lot less 3/4 potting now that he has a myriad of smaller sizes.
Right. Yeah, I'm curious. I'm genuinely curious what he lands here with. Like, what kind of.
So, like, adding in those other small sizes actually probably utilizes themselves as a calibrating metric for his larger size, right? So he just starts tightening up the fringe hands that he knows he doesn't want to bet 20% with, but also feel a little bit too loose to bet 75% with, but he had just been allocating to that bet size anyway. Now he doesn't really have to.
That 75% wins.
Yeah,
man, I kind of
will be a good example.
I really wanted to see a showdown that time. Yeah, that was what I was intrigued by. There's the small things that intrigue me, Burke. Like all these 4-bet, 5-bet pots, all in like a little bit of a third pot on the 9-4 deuce, and it boom catches my attention. It's like, oh,
it's weird, man. I feel like I'm seeing the game in colors right now. Like I just see this spectrum of bets.
Yeah, exactly. You understand the red line and the blue line and all these things that we were talking about earlier. See, you're smart, Berg. You're smart.
The red pill, the blue pill, but
yeah.
But like all that said, like I don't like. I prefer the ignorance almost to a certain degree.
Ignorance is such a bliss place to be, man.
It is, because you know why? When you're ignorant, you are 100% confident, and regardless of what it is that you're implementing, you're doing it with sheer and utter vigor and confidence. Whereas like when you keep broadening the spectrum of possibilities and you just know that the only thing you're certain of is that you're not certain of anything, now you're only operating on a degree of confidence every time you take action. Yep. And that could be very crippling in a game like this.
Yeah. But now I'm just like, let's get it, Like that's the kind of mindset I'm in recently, where it's like, yeah, I have a degree of confidence, but it's probably going to be better than yours. So let's go. And then,
yeah,
and sometimes it is, sometimes it's not, and live with the results. Live another day. Escape says, if it weren't for poker, Matt would have done something high up in the U.S. Army, FBI, CIA, or the like.
Nah, man, military's not for me.
He named other agencies. You could have been in the FBI.
I just, that stuff's just not for me. I like solving problems, and I like puzzles, but
you ain't no pig.
No, it's not that. It's just that.
Sorry if there's any cops in the chat. That'd be kind of fucked up.
First of all, he didn't name police at all.
Yeah, I know, but he was talking about law enforcement, shit like that, like FBI.
Not really. Nice hand, Daniel. But yeah, like I don't know if I believe fully enough in those institutions to like be passionate about them.
You could have been the next Edward Snowden.
There was definitely another path where I ended up a computer scientist who was working strictly with data, and right now I'd be neck deep in AI and all kinds of other stuff. But I went this path instead, and now I don't remember anything about computer science.
I took French in high school. I don't remember any of that either. It's just like,
it's kind of the same thing though. Like it's learning a language.
Check raise from Doug Polk.
bigger one. I guess relative to the pot, it's not.
Winner. A lot of check raising from.
I really do think it's a function of Daniel choosing the larger size more frequently now. Granted, in that particular spot, he chose small, but a lot of the check raises I've seen Doug pull today have been a cheap way to take initiative with an uncapped range on board textures that were like free for alls.
Escape follows up saying women in general don't like men analyzing them. I don't like people analyzing me either, man. Like, and I'm a man. I mean, I think it's just a normal thing. Like, people don't like to be overly scrutinized.
I don't know. I think my best relationships were ones that both parties were interested in self-growth and helping one another.
Yeah. I think he was saying it in a negative context, though.
Yeah, I get it, but that's gotta use your powers for good.
Yep. King Jack 6. We'll see if Doug goes with the flop over bet. He does go with the check back. Turns a jack. This card is going to be generally decent for Doug after the flop check back. He checks back. And then Daniel chooses to check back on the King 8-5. Oh no, wait. Am I reading this right? I can't be. Pot's too small. I mean, too big. So I'm just gonna focus on this other table, but I think I missed something there. Check back raise from Doug. Seems good. I mean, it feels like he has a lot of Jack X. I did say that, like, after the flop check back. Doug wins a small one, and looks like Daniel's going to take his second break. This is often the time where a decision is made where if Daniel's going to continue or not.
What do you think?
I think, given the way this is going, I think he's going to continue. I think he's going to go.
Yeah, I kind of agree. I think he should. He had a long break to study. We are seeing some things implemented that may not have been in the past. So I do think that, you know, to some degree, he's probably playing his sharpest right now. And as long as he feels focused and mentally in tune, he probably should just continue. Try to make this one of the longer sessions, hopefully put together a pretty big six-figure win.
Yeah, let's get to 200.
That'd be worth a lot to him right now, I think.
Yeah, let's do it. 200K.
200,000.
I'm excited. I'm excited for see what happens.
Yeah, I think it's going to be interesting to pay close attention to how this check raising strategy of Doug's pans out. So far, I think he's probably winning small with it, and there isn't really much to derive from that because, you know, obviously he could have just been up against basically bottom of range in those spots. But I'd be curious to see if, like, my initial inclination is holding true in some sort of capacity. If it's just another means to an end for him to redline in a spot where otherwise Daniel is kind of left with his pants down a bit.
So you use so many of these phrases, you know?
You hate the colloquialisms.
It's like his pants down and all this stuff. It's funny.
I got you a book, man.
On my pants down? Like,
No, about
on colloquialisms?
Colloquialisms, yeah.
What was the other word you used? Ellipses?
Ellipses. Yeah.
Yeah.
You turned it into a name.
Ellipse. Like, yo, Ellipsy's a real thing. Like, if I shout out my window right now, like, yo, Ellipsy, like, somebody's gonna come. Like,
Just some random dude.
yeah, I'd be like, dímelo, que lo que? Like, you know, I'll be like, yo, Ellipsy, ¿cómo estamos, loco? Like, that's it.
That's it. It's on site.
No. We're cool. If I speak to you like that, we're not. It's not on site.
Right.
On site is like some people that call me a coward and shit like that. That's different.
Mhm.
That's different. That's different section. You know.
That's right.
Let's see. Stephanie says Berkey beats Chin at Scrabble. Depends what language we're using.
I'm not very good at those types of games. I can't spell for shit.
Three bet, four bet. The four bet did come in kind of small, but that's appropriate, I think, given stacks.
Yeah, stacked ups have changed.
All of it.
Let's go.
He's not fucking around, man.
He had it. I'd be curious to know like what bottom of range is there. Again, I think that I never thought that they would come, but I am a little bit more inquisitive to study these heads up spots a little bit better.
He's back. He's back. What's next? PLO? Mixed games?
No. This game's hard enough.
100 first dates once again?
Oh, that is never going to happen again.
Stuffs it. 5 bets. This is a very, I mean, look, I don't want to be results oriented, and obviously I'm a little bit biased, but this is a very tough day on the ground today, I think. It could also just be hands, right? Like, we don't know.
Yeah.
It just looks tough to play against, right? Like, there's been days that Doug looked very tough to play against too.
Yep. We see a turn raise here.
Yeah, this is check back flop, turn raise. Kind of cool.
Yeah, it puts 5-7 in like a weird spot. Like if you just start from the nuts in Daniel's hand and give him like 5-7, no hearts, no diamonds, like 5-7 of spades, something of that nature. It kind of puts you in a weird spot because it's difficult to find a lot of 3 bets on this texture, but calling feels so vulnerable. Well, that's nice. I kind of dig all of that.
It's a new line. I've never really seen that hand class get raised on the turn, but I think it's kind of interesting. Maybe it is a good thing.
I feel like it's only a byproduct of like facing an under bluff on river. Like Daniel almost certainly checks his hand on the river, and
yeah.
Doug may lose a little bit of value there. So it's pretty easy to target a lot of hands that are worse than kings that are just going to bet call.
Right.
And then you just get checked out.
If we're not playing turn 3 bet, then it's kind of pretty good.
Yeah, I think that like largely Doug can probably factor that into his counter strategy that like you're just not going to face a 3 bet at a very high frequency there. Especially having the king of diamonds is nice.
I don't think any hands that contain the king of diamonds would ever 3 bet the turn, right? Like it's almost better to not have the king of diamonds because then you get value from like the king high flush draw because that hand's never gonna 3 bet the turn.
Well, there was hearts also.
Yeah.
But I guess the issue is that like the ace is a diamond, not a heart.
The ace froze you.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm thinking like, does a hand like king 5 of diamonds 3 bet? Or king
probably. Nah, because it dominates some worse draws. Probably doesn't want to 3 bet. Like probably some worse flush draws might consider. I think king high is too good. Like it beats some hands. It has some showdown value and it dominates a little bit.
But dominating, I don't know that is all that important when you're out of position and you're going to check fold unimproved.
Okay, I think it's one where like you get to have. Okay, it's just like a good hand to have. I think when you land on the river and make a flush, like you have like a non.
Well, you're gonna have other king X of diamonds.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay, yeah. Then
I'm trying to choose like specific candidates, like whatever the gut shot was, king 5 or king 4.
Right. Right.
Maybe a few other ones.
Yeah, it's a tricky spot because not all your king high flush draws will bet the turn because they already have showdown, and then like the ones that you do bet the turn, now you have to split between a call and a 3-bet, which is like kind of hard already. Like it's like a triple split of king high flush draws. So maybe I don't know. This is too complex for me to like figure it out on the spot right now. Like
yeah, I guess like given the choice between the king of diamonds and king of hearts, I think I would prefer the king of diamonds. Because I guess like with the ace of diamonds being out, it's more probable that we can. I mean, I guess when we have kings, it doesn't matter, but from a range perspective, we could put a lot more pressure on his king high hearts than we could his king high diamonds.
Big raise, relatively speaking. This is why I like the numbers, right? Because it's like it's a big raise because it's almost 10 stacks. Like, call king jack, good for Doug Polk.
I think that might be why I like the blinds, because what appears to be a big raise monetarily speaking often just isn't.
Yeah, but we're watching this because it's 200, 400. We're not watching this because it's 1 blind, 2 blind, okay? That's what I'm saying.
Sure.
We're watching because it's 200, 400, no limit hold'em, big bet poker, not big blind poker.
This is like the under the gun as opposed to under the gun 9 conversation.
I hate that shit.
Or under the gun 7, whatever.
It's just under the gun. I tried to do it the other day where I was like, yeah, it's under the gun 7, and I'm like, this feels so unnatural. Like, it's like, yeah.
It does, but it's obviously a significantly superior.
Yeah, it's a better system. But you know, it's hard to get old guys to change, man. It's like that's the problem with Bitcoin right now, right? It's
well, like, also like
Bitcoin's a better system, but people like that US dollar, you know what I'm saying?
I think everything's relative to the ability to communicate too. So it's like the old system wasn't really broken when you're dealing with intelligent people, right? So like I can convey to you pretty clearly what I mean when I say under the gun, because I'll just qualify it with under the gun 6-handed. Correct. Or I'll just say like we were 6-handed from the low jack, right? We have names for every position except for under the gun 1, under the gun 2, I guess.
Yeah. Those are their names.
Right.
Like,
so I guess like my whole point is that like, yeah, the system of, for those of you who don't know what we're talking about, basically a more efficient way to convey the position that you're in is to use minus from the button. So if you're under the gun 9-handed, then you are under the gun 7. Or is it minus from the big blind?
I think it's minus from the button.
Yeah.
No. Yeah. No, maybe minus from the big blind.
No, yeah, because the button is under the gun 9, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So under the gun would just be what it is. Under the gun 1 would be what it is. And then like, instead of saying cut off, hijack, low jack, it would be like under the gun 8, under the gun 7, under the gun 6. And they basically reference each position, where now I don't have to ask how many handed it is. By saying under the gun 7, you're implying that you are the cutoff regardless of how many handed it.
This guy's making some hands. He's making some hands, Burke, and I'm not liking it. But whatever. It's only turbulence. I used to hate turbulence, honestly. I told you this story already when I went to Paris and like I had to cross like the point of no return.
The deep blue.
Yeah, I wasn't about that deep blue, man. At the time, I was like, so now if something goes wrong, what? Let's just hope nothing goes wrong. There's no emergency landing.
It's weird. I'm terrified of heights, and by proxy, I should be afraid to fly. But there's a part of me that is like pretty good at just relinquishing control in scenarios where I don't have it. So it's like the second we take off, my mind just goes into a mode of everything that happens from this point on is completely outside of my control. So I may as well just relax and accept the results.
Yeah, let's hope your pilot doesn't think the same.
Well, yeah, it's a little different. He actually does have control.
It's like, listen, technology has upgraded. I just pressed this button and we're off. From that
in a lot
forward,
of ways, that's true, man. They really only handle the takeoff and the landing.
Yeah, that's it. The rest is just cruising.
In a lot of ways, they might not even handle that much of the landing.
Maybe next is just like Tesla just gets into planes and they're like, listen, there's no more humans. Just it's the remote.
I mean, it's probably they probably already have that capability to a large degree. The humans are just there as like an override, I think.
Check raise. River 4 of spades. Huh. Feel like
pretty spicy river. I don't think Daniel has a lot of bluffs on this river, so I would imagine something like 75% would be in line. Ace deuce of diamonds. What do you think about?
It felt like a denial line. I think it's like, it's okay.
Why are you denying out of position with a hand that weak?
I mean, I think it felt as if like the flop would check where it just came a king, if I'm not mistaken. And then
I feel like that's pretty unlikely given Doug had an 8, but maybe.
And then on the turn he went like, he probably is playing sub check raise on flop already with that hand, and probably not a lot because it has an ace in it, but so then he just like went for the turn check raise, which I think is just like he was just denying, like it's a denial play at all. Like I'm not saying I don't know if I'm not saying it's great or not. I don't know. I just think it was a denial play, clearly, right?
I understand, but like, what are we denying? Just hoping to get like Queen Jack to fold,
and like avoid yourself from getting bluffed on like a lot of cards, playing like increasing clarity, like or like avoiding not having clarity on river.
Well, that's kind of the thing, right? Like, aren't we just getting bluffed on those cards anyway for now a larger pot?
If he calls.
Well, when he calls,
well, he has to call first.
I see what you're saying, I guess. Yeah. It seems pretty thin. I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, I think
basically if he's range betting the turn, then we gain a lot through the check raise.
Yeah. Another pot for Doug. That's a flush. He turned huge. A little bit of momentum going towards Doug. Stacks are a little bit deeper now. Table 2, both players have over 70,000. Congress passed a vote today. Everyone's getting $600.
Siggy Power says, I'm a pilot. We do shit all but bang some stewardesses, to be honest.
Wow.
Yeah, I feel like instead of
I don't know if I want him to be telling the truth or be like joking.
I feel like instead of passing the stimulus, it would have been a great time to start to examine UBI. I feel like they're going to be forced to look into it anyway, and the $600 doesn't do shit for anybody.
Honestly, like when I saw the $600, I thought it was like a little bit laughable. Like it's like people that need money, like yeah, it'll help like for a week, but
I think it's honestly, I think that it's, and I know that this is a little bit tinfoil hat-ish of me, but I really think it's a means of not seeing a down Q4 during the holiday season when people just can't afford to spend. If they know they have that 600 coming, people may still be a little bit more likely to go out, provide their family with a Christmas, spend a little bit extra on holiday gifts, on food, on whatever.
It's a fair point.
I know that is a bit of a jaded, maybe almost conspiracy-driven outlook, but these things are never one-sided. It's never just for sheer and utter generosity. It's to prop up the economy in some capacity.
Yeah, man, I don't know. I feel a little bit. I personally not that I whatever. Luckily, I don't need $600 that bad, but I think a lot of people do need $600 that bad.
Yeah.
I think there was a poll where, or at least a study, a poll. But I've heard this before. Whereas if people were to have to come up with $500 for an emergency right now, not many people can do it. And if you raise it up to 1,000, even less people can do it. It's a very large amount of people can't do that. And when I get sick, when the $600 is given to me, I almost feel guilty about it. I'm like, I don't need this $600. But many other people need more than $600, and so it makes me feel awkward, honestly. And it's a thing that I've been struggling with even when I got the 1,200 initially. I was like, I
didn't get the 1,200. What the fuck?
Yeah, well, it looks like I'm the citizen here, not you.
Mm.
But yeah, I mean, I'm not sure. What to think. It was a weird thing.
What up, Hung Do? Thanks for joining us, my man. Appreciate you.
So Chin makes under 75K. I don't know the rules, man. You got to talk to my accountant. I know what's in my bank. I don't know what the IRS says. I don't know what's the IRS. No IRS talking here. I'm a law-abiding citizen. Pay all my taxes. Every time I win a pot of Bellagio, I report it.
Someone's putting in work in your room, man.
I don't know what you mean, man.
We could do the stimulus challenge, 600 to 60K.
Oh man, I'm not putting in that many hours. That's insane.
Well, you're quarantined. What the fuck else are you gonna do?
I don't know, man. I'm just enjoying this challenge, man. My man Daniel's up 80,000. It's nice. Nice day. I had a weird day yesterday, man. It was insane. What a day. But I do feel a lot better in terms of where I'm at mentally. It didn't really. I think maybe a couple months ago I would have been pretty upset at the day that I had. I woke up, my phone was broken, had to go get a phone, which threw off my entire day. They only took appointments for insurance, and the appointment for the insurance was on the 24th, and I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna buy another phone. So that was $1,500, and I had to pay $200 for it to add insurance to this new phone. Mm-hmm. I was like, great. So $1,500, sure. Get home. You're like, can you smell this coffee? I'm like, yeah. You're like, I can't. I'm like, great. So now I have I'm transferring shit from the old phone to the new phone. You have the fucking virus. So now I probably have the virus. So now we go to we go get tested. The line is 27 deep, you know, and then here we are, fly to fucking Las Vegas, fly to Jersey. Thought I was gonna get stopped by TSA for being a drug dealer because there was some cash in my bag. That's alarming. If they want to ask, like, you're a drug dealer, you look like a drug dealer. Look at your hair. You cut your hair. You look like a gang member from Mexico. Like, and there we are. But they let me cruise by. And you're actually the one that scared me about that shit. You're like, oh, they confiscate your money and they never give it back.
Unlawful confiscation is like, or unlawful search and seizure, or whatever. It's a really common thing, and they skirt it because basically you have to, the burden of proof falls on you. So if they siege, so I think it's called like actually unlawful search and seizure, but if they seize like 50K off of you, what happens is it goes to the local municipal that seizes it, and from there,
so
basically.
Not to cut you off, we'll get right back to that.
Yeah.
So it was a 4 bets pre, and Doug chose the small size on the flop. It's called turn queen.
I don't think we'll see any shoving here. Probably some small bets and some check backs. I would think something like 12K, as well as like a bunch of checking back. Don't really see too much pot size betting on that turn card, I don't think. Daniel can block on this river. I think a lot of his range performs well through a block. We see a sort of block.
B40.
Yeah, 40 feels big. I think 12 would have been a little bit better, but we're splitting hairs.
Call straight.
Has it.
I like that size for the straight.
I feel like that's kind of a hedge, man. Especially when you have the queen in your hand.
You want to... So well, you have the queen in your hand, you want to go down.
Yeah, but I think 40 is big for a block.
I see what you're saying. So you want him to go to 25?
Well, I think somewhere in the neighborhood of 10 to 12K, which would have been something like 25 to 30%.
Okay.
Makes a lot more sense. I think like ultimately we're looking to get raised as much as we are getting called. The 40 feels a little bit like a hedge. Like, oh, well, he's going to have bluff catchers at 40% too. It's like, well, yeah, by that token, we could just go 75. Right? Like, we want to be factoring in the amount of times that we actually have at 10 and the likelihood that we can get his bluff catchers to actually bluff or his nothing to go off, that type of stuff. But yeah, anyway, if they seize that money from you, now the burden of proof falls on you to prove that it's legitimate money. And in the legal process of you actually proving that it's all clean money and you deserve it back, they're free to add it to their budget and just spend it accordingly. So you can only actually recoup whatever they don't spend, which is fucking crazy.
Let's say allegedly you played cash game poker, right?
Mm-hmm.
Only. How would you claim that that's like legit money?
Your tax returns, your
let's say allegedly, right?
Your hours logged.
Let's say allegedly you don't report every single hand you win at the Bellagio, and then your taxes, then you go to the airport, and then they take your money. Now you're kind of might be in trouble, you know?
Yeah, I mean, you could claim that you earned it that year. It's gonna be a little bit more work for your accountant, but you know they'll be able to demonstrate it for you, I think.
They're like, listen, man, like, yeah, I earned this all in 2020. Look at my Instagram, like, you know. Well, that's it. That's the whole proof I got.
I'm watching the game picks for the Steeler game right now, and they're picking who's gonna win and the score. The Steelers are minus 14.5, so like they're huge favorites, obviously. Steve Young says Steelers 28-3. Randy Moss says Steelers 42-9. Somebody else, Susie Colbert, says 31-10, and then Booger just says by a lot. That's smart. Anthony Marcel says I use an accountant who's also an auditor for the state. It's a good way to make sure that Cross your T's and dot your I's for sure.
Yeah. Dot your I's. Cross your T's. Ellipse. Four-liner two ways now.
Who was it in Texas that was telling me 10-5 is their favorite hand because they can make they can always make a straight if a straight is on the board?
I don't know, but let's play. Let's see, table number 1, King 5 deuce. We see roughly 40% from Doug. Winner. Looks like 2/3 from Doug. Check raise. Winner. My man Daniel's just. It's like
Daniel gets to do some semi-bluffing there when he has like the 10 of diamonds or the 10 with a diamond.
You mean just bluffing on the river?
No, 10's a straight.
Oh, I see. But
he gets to do like, I guess.
Like a free roll bluff, you're saying?
Yeah, not bluffing. Sorry,
free roll value range.
Yes. He gets to go a lot thinner for value when he has those qualifiers.
Yeah. Check min raise on table 2. Call.
I wish WSOP had. I wish the GG series that was going on right now was on WSOP. Being quarantined, I would like to stream since I have nothing else to do.
You can do it. You can do it.
There's nothing to play. I would be streaming for like 10 cents an hour. Although I suppose it's better than streaming for free, which we're doing right now.
This isn't for free, man. This is for the people. This is
for the people, baby.
This isn't for free. You guys are not. You guys aren't free. You guys are paying with your attention and all your fucking little trolls in the chat. Like, I appreciate y'all. Y'all in the mix, man. All of you. I love it. If you're a supporter, that's cool. If you're a hater, that's cool. Like, it's all love, man.
I wish all the haters would actually start showing up, to be honest.
I wish they showed up at Bellagio sometimes.
That's true.
Hey, yo. Nah, I'm just kidding. Y'all do your thing, man. Y'all do your thing.
I miss live poker.
Yeah, live poker is the shit. Live poker is the shit, man. Is Soto back east? Yes, I am currently in New Jersey, the state of New Jersey.
Why does Escape keep talking about deep cleaning stuff?
Probably because of your current situation of having the 19.
But I still have it.
I don't know.
And also, it doesn't like stay on surfaces for that long of a time frame. By the time I'm over it and the maid's come again, it will be all but gone.
13,300 winner, queen high. Take it down. How is this pocket so big? Oh, he flopped a flush draw. Gene says in the mix is used. Yes, in the mix is used.
If you brush your teeth and shine a flashlight down your throat, the COVID will dissolve in your stomach acid. It's science. I hear you, man.
Quietly, Daniel has returned to up 120,000. Silently, though.
Yeah, he's lost some pretty big pots, but he's really battled today. Things have obviously gone his way too, but we've seen a lot more of him winning without Showdown, which I think should be a pretty big target of his moving forward. And yeah, I definitely think that like these added bet sizes are probably making him a little bit tougher to deal with. The added check raise frequencies and things like that we haven't necessarily seen in the past.
there is that check raise frequency that you speak of. Table number 2, as we see small bet from Doug, check raise from Daniel. Call 5. Curious. Probably gonna see 75%. Maybe. I don't. Maybe. Check seems cool too. Maybe he turned the 5. Maybe he has like some weak ace X's.
This is a check, check, flop, check, check, turn.
No, this was a check 500, 500 to like 1400 call.
Oh, on the right.
Yeah, excuse me.
Sorry, you said a turn to 5, and I immediately looked left.
It feels like Daniel has a 5 here. Wow, Queen 8. Okay, that's kind of interesting. Okay, cool. I'm not sure. Some hands are just like above my pay grade. Like I don't understand it. So like I just leave it alone, you know? Like
yeah, I hear you. Is this the routine hourly sit out, or are we tapping here?
I don't think it's tap yet because I don't see the ...
The ellipses.
I will never like use that word. Like I can't just imagine like some girl texting me and I'm like I write a sentence and then I write ... and think to myself like, I wonder if she knows this is an ellipsis. Like, I'll never do that. Like there's just no way.
I understand.
I had a whole debate in my head the other day if I should correct this girl that was texting me that constantly uses the wrong your.
I told you, man, you got to shower that.
But the population didn't agree with you. Population was like, they were like, oh, leave her alone, like leave it alone.
Nah, they're thirsty. That's why.
Bro, there was like 800 votes, and it was over 400 said leave it alone.
Nah, they just think that you're like struggling to get girls or something. Like, if she's using the wrong your consistently, not for you, man. You don't want to deal with that.
Extrapolate. Tell me more.
Well, it's either laziness or stupidity, and in both situations, it's going to be a problem down the line.
Oh man, Burke is killing the game with the ellipses.
I'm just saying, like it's not like it was an accidental usage one time, right? Like it's consistent. So it's like either she doesn't know the difference between Y-O-U-R and Y-O-U''RE, or she's just too goddamn lazy to interchange them, or to not interchange them rather. In which case, like, I don't want any sort of laziness like that. Imagine what it's going to be like whenever it's just going to be like, okay, you on top again, why starfish?
Wow. This is a real... I need to know more how your brain thinks. You guys always know how I think about these girl situations. We need to know how you think. Like, I see where you're coming from. I see how you make your decisions, you know? Like, wifey decisions get made based on spelling, you know? And, like, I get it now.
I want somebody who cares, Chin. That's all. I want somebody who cares about the things that matter.
So you care about ellipses and hypothesis. What is it called? Sorry, it's slipping me for a second. What the fuck? I don't know. I just like
junction
blanked out.
Or a contraction rather.
No. I don't know. It's slipping my brain for a second. Let's get back to poker. Sometimes, you know, after you've...
That's fair. Now, you could be talking to a girl whose English is their second language, in which case you should just be talking to her in Spanish.
You guys think I don't know that? Like, oh my god. That's so crazy. Like, you guys think... You guys are funny, man.
Would you prefer a Spanish-speaking girl?
What country are we in? Like in America?
Why does that matter? She speaks Spanish. I'm just asking if you would prefer to speak in a different language. Or at least have the option there too.
I don't care. I think I'm fluent in both languages, so I really don't care. Like, it's the same to me. I think it would be weird if they only spoke Spanish, only because I don't know how they would communicate with my friends.
Sure.
You know? So but for my personal, I wouldn't care. Like, it's the same.
You don't find that to be like an additional like common ground that you could share with somebody? Like, just think, you in public, you guys could like say secretive things in another language.
Oh, I see. Yeah. I try not to. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of cool, I guess, but like, that's not gonna be like the deciding factor of like, you know. But yeah, I mean, if they only speak Spanish, I'm still cool with it. I'll teach her.
Mm-hmm.
I'll feed her.
We know this. Hi, Gatsby. Welcome back. Oh, it's cold outside. You're a cold boy. These dogs love it when I'm sick, man.
Yeah, of course. They get attention.
Just never leave the bed.
One thing is, my mom would definitely want a girl that speaks Spanish.
Yeah,
like,
I know.
Not if they she would like if they also spoke Spanish. Doesn't matter if it's the first or last or second language or third language, as long as they could like speak Spanish and talk shit, and then they're good.
Yeah.
It's a funny thing like that. One time I was dating some Arabic chick. Mom was like, I don't know, we can't communicate. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what she eats. I don't know what she's talking about. I don't know anything. Like, can you just bring a nice girl home that's from? Like, she's not racist. She just, you know, they're different cultures. Like, she doesn't know where to start. You know what I mean?
What ethnicity was the girl?
She was Egyptian. She was fly too. She was super fly.
Mm-hmm.
She's a lawyer now. She actually finished what I was starting. It's kind of cool.
Makes sense. Yeah.
She married a guy that looks exactly like me, which is really spooky, actually. I'm serious. All her friends told her the same thing too. They were like, he looks just like Chen. Like, well, she at the time, like, she never called me Chen, but like, yeah, like he looks just like Christian. And I looked at him. I was like, damn, this is kind of true. Like,
I guess that's flattering.
People like what they like, man.
Yeah.
My next girlfriend didn't look like her though, so.
Not very easy to replicate the Egyptian look.
I'm trying. Anyway, Jack 6 deuce, 4-bet pot. Pretty good for our villain, Doug Polk. Third pot. They're both so deep still.
Yeah. The flop bet's so small. Makes sense for Doug to be checking back. I think Daniel is mostly going to want to be blocking here on the end. Don't really think he has a range that gets to polarize. He doesn't have great bluffing candidates that would like want to overbet shove. I guess he could have hands like... Yeah, I don't know. I don't... This feels a little awkward to me. I think it's fine. Go ahead.
No, I think it's kind of cool in that he does get to bluff here and then fold if shoved on.
Yeah, I think this is better than shoving for sure. It's...
I mean, he had the nuts last time when he did this with the 10.
Yeah,
remember?
yeah. No, it just seems a little challenging to differentiate between bluffing candidates. Like, we just have a lot of king high, queen high, 9 high type hands to parse through. And there's a lot of relevant blocking cards there, be it the 4 and the 5, the clubs, et cetera, et cetera. But I do think that size is reasonable. I think he can bet for sure his Jack 10 at that size. He may even be able to bet like stronger hands like Ace Jack.
Mm-hmm.
Or not stronger hands, weaker hands.
Yeah, I think the ace jack is like definitely probably wants to bet there, and I think that size actually makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I think if he has a hand like ace jack, jack of clubs, ace jack, ace of clubs, those sizes for sure make a lot of sense. I was just thinking of it strictly from the bluffing note. It seems pretty difficult to figure out exactly, or I shouldn't say not to figure out, but to balance what we're bluffing with there. But again, that's why he's getting paid the big bucks. And it's obviously going to be easier to balance at 75% than it would be at 2x pot.
That was an interesting hand for sure. Berkey, do you have action on the match?
I do. I bet $10,000 on Daniel. Way back at the opening line. I probably should have hedged off a little bit whenever he was up 250, but the line didn't move that much. I think he was only like, I think it only moved to him like being 3.5 to 1. So that wasn't like super enticing.
Check min raise. I need to figure out what these min raises are all about. They're kind of intriguing me. I remember, like I said earlier, my man John from Seasons 1-2, he was doing this shit to me all the time. I remember, man, I was like, I can't fold, but you had it.
Yeah. I mean, in this instance, they don't exactly have it all the time.
We don't know, man. They could be running some exploitative shit, like my man John from Seasons 1-2. He used to do this too. The turnover bet on the dirty, card. Like the one that brings the backdoor that he's a little bit afraid of, like he doesn't want the 6, the 7, or the 8 to come in, or the diamond, or an ace. He used to just bomb it on me, and I would be like, all right, bro, like, all right, what am I gonna do? And then he would look at me like, mm-hmm. You just started playing here, huh, kid? And I'm like, yeah, I mean, took a bus here from New York. And he's like, you look like you came from New York. I'm like, all right. Why everybody in Texas call me a Yankee, man? Why don't they call you a Yankee?
I don't know. It's a good question.
It's because Pittsburgh's in the fucking Midwest, Bert. That's what I've been trying to tell you.
Pittsburgh is like 45 minutes away from Gettysburg.
It's also like 45 minutes. Let me see how close Pittsburgh is to fucking Ohio. Because Ohio's not east.
Pittsburgh's super close to Ohio.
That's what
but
I'm saying.
Depends on what.
You're in the Midwest.
There's a huge difference between Cleveland and Toledo.
I would say Toledo's also the Midwest. I don't know.
Yeah, no shit. Toledo borders Michigan.
Pittsburgh. We need another poll.
Pittsburgh borders Ohio.
All right, here we go. Pittsburgh,
Turnpike
Midwest.
is like 10 miles.
See, you ask Google like the question, and they don't even really answer you. You're like, okay, Pittsburgh, Midwest, or East Coast, and it says Pittsburgh is at the western frontier of the Northeast.
It did answer.
So I guess that means that
the Northeast. That's what I've said all along.
Let's see. Hold on. A short drive from the Ohio border where the Midwest begins. So you're literally on the edge. That makes sense, right? Okay.
That's what I've always said. We're the Northeast.
You just made it. We accept.
But that's only news to you.
Because to me, it's like, when you said Pennsylvania, I'm like, okay, yeah, that's cool. Like, you're part of the Northeast. But like Pittsburgh, I get it. It's in Pennsylvania, but it's like, you're far, bro. Like you're far as fuck. Like,
far as fuck from what? Philly?
It's like, okay, Texas is west, but not all of it is fucking west.
Yes, it is.
Okay, hold on. Not all of it is west, bro. I'll tell you right now.
West is delineated by the Mississippi.
Is Louisiana west?
Is it west of the Mississippi? Probably not. I think the Mississippi goes through it.
Literally, Texas and Louisiana touch.
Okay, no. Texas and Oklahoma touch.
This looks like Louisiana to me down here. Texas is big as fuck.
Texas is big as fuck.
That's what I'm saying. Like, a lot of people say Texas is west, but not all of it is west. Like, part of it is east. Or, like, east-ish.
East?
No, east-ish. Like, Louisiana, like, is south, like, southeast.
Of course it's all south. That's not difficult. The east and the west are delineated by the Mississippi River.
Louisiana. That's all I care about right now. Yeah, it touches Louisiana big time, bro. Like the whole.
Why are you keep looking up states when I'm telling you that the Mississippi River is what delineates east and west?
Because I can't see it. Okay, I see it now. All right, well, Louisiana is then considered west, and that's insane.
Why is that insane?
Because I never thought about it like that. That's always been southeast. To me, I consider this
southeast. Southeast is Florida.
I get it. Well, I look at it like this, ready? And this is the problem with modern studying in school. I just learned where the states are based on sports. Like, if you're in the SEC, you're in the Southeast. Like, that's just how it works.
Well, what? Okay, first of all, you can't use college because they're aligned very incorrectly. The Big Ten spans from the East Coast all the way to almost the West Coast.
Right, but, so to me, Louisiana, that's Southeast, SEC.
Okay, Texas is all West Coast sports. New Orleans. Wait. New Orleans. I guess they're part of the NFC Central? No. What are they? They're the South. But yeah, I mean, like...
It's weird, right? It's crazy.
No, it's not weird. Just understanding that east and west of the Mississippi is... It's all based upon how the country was settled, not actual directional compass or anything like that.
Sorry, bro. Like, my country was settled even before this one, and, like, we're still confused about what really happened. You know what I'm saying? like, I don't know, bro. What are you talking about?
Oh, man. You're an island. How difficult can it be?
It's very difficult. It's very difficult. We don't know what happened, bro. Mm-hmm. There wasn't no fucking YouTube back then where you could record everything. Small bet from Daniel on table number 2 as Doug wins. Yeah, so every now and then we got to talk about other things, but that was a fun little segue away from poker for a second.
I don't know, man. You're causing a lot of heat in the chat.
Because this is actually the problem. Like, this, it's real. Like, you think I'm the only one. Check raise from Doug. Call.
Baby, big stop.
I thought you were talking about the 24,000 in the middle. Turn ace.
I am now that they're punting. Hopefully Doug seals one here.
These are big pots, man. They're still 60,000 behind.
Yeah, I think given the SPR, we'll see a lot more small betting, especially on the ace, when Doug chooses to bet. Because like even 8-9, I don't think feels super comfortable just going for it. And when that becomes the case, like sets are going to have to be utilized to protect other hands of equity. Now in this card, this becomes interesting. I think that Doug has a lot of Jack 10 in range. Probably looking at something like 75% pot here, the majority of the time. I don't see any reason to be block betting.
No, we're not gonna. That's coming out. Yeah.
Yeah, we're not going to see any one pair hands like trying to get the showdown. Wow, we're dead wrong. Seems like only Jack 9, 10 9 would choose this, and that's not enough of his range to want to pick this size. I don't think.
I guess it could also be like a little bit of
two pairs, 8-7, 9-7, 9-8.
Yeah,
but
I mean,
I just feel like we're leaving a lot on the table if that's the case, because this race comes a lot.
Winner. Let's go, Daniel. Let's fucking go, man. This guy's playing like a boss today.
Yeah, I don't know, man. That felt a little imbalanced to me. It really felt like Doug probably didn't have enough, or didn't have the right sizing click there. He might have a lot of ace X, but like that hand Those hands should just be happy to check, I think.
Shit, all you gotta know is some rich folk took over and told you and others what to do. They said if you don't like it, tough shit.
That's what I've been saying, man. He doesn't listen.
Oh, you guys are so fucking proud, aren't you? You guys are so fucking proud of that. Like,
we're not proud of it at all. I'm saying that you shouldn't be proud of Spanish people.
That's not what I think. He said told you. He said told you.
Yeah, what he's saying is the Spanish came in and conquered your island.
Yeah, I guess that's all I gotta know. Nothing else, right? Nothing else happened, you know. Sure. Rich folk.
They were very wealthy back then. The old 1400s.
Yeah.
Spanish Inquisition. And shit.
I think I definitely have Spaniard in me and then a bunch of other stuff. Who knows? One of these days I'll get one of those 23andMe's and figure it all out. Probably pay some other rich folk to tell me what things I have, right? That's how it works.
I heard that what is the what's the other one? So there's 23andMe, and what's the other one?
That's good. That's a good sign for 23andMe. They're doing good business, man. People don't even know what the other one is.
Yeah, there was one before them. It was just like a database where you could basically like enter a bunch of information. Like it wasn't the actual DNA test. Ancestry.com. Yeah, Ancestry.com. I heard that that's actually funded and utilized by Mormons as a means of quote unquote converting people in the afterlife. So their religion believes that you can convert somebody to Mormon beliefs after they're dead, and basically they're accruing that database in order to save humanity. How about that?
That's why I didn't really want that dude to get elected president, man. That shit sounds crazy.
What dude?
That man Mitt Romney's just walling out there. Like, like, what's going on, bro?
Andre, they want the sad POLK pictures.
Ooh, the sad POLK. No. Leave everything as is, man. Last time, like, I don't want to fucking change anything right now. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, do it. There's people that believe that though. Like, if you change something, like things might change the other way. Like some sort of some butterfly effect, like.
Yeah, but that implies control. If you don't change something, things might change it another way also.
Ooh. Now you're talking deep, bro. Now you're talking about some like Joe Rogan podcast shit. Like,
I'm on it. Let's go. Man, these Steelers can't get a fucking first down. What a joke. Playing the Bungles. Oh, baby. Rip Daniel in the house.
I like it. Ace-8 good on the left table. 4 flush board. I believe this might be one of the only 4 flush boards we've seen today.
We saw... No, you're right. I was going to say we saw one Daniel try to bluff, but it was just 3 flush. Generally speaking, these types of textures are pretty overbluffed. But the connected texture here... Interesting. Doug shouldn't have a lot of raises here, I don't think. Although he goes so small, he could go as thin as like
the Jack of Hearts.
Jack of Hearts, maybe even the 10 of Hearts. I'm not sure what he expects. I guess if he expects Daniel to bet and call with any heart, that seems a little bit optimistic. For that reason, Doug can just like be bluffing on his own right, choosing hands like 7-8 no heart, 6-5 no heart. Although I think you want Daniel to have not when you're bluffing. Yeah, I think he wants to block straights when he's bluffing and unblock straights when he's value betting. So he's not really going to want to have a 7 or a 5 in his hand whenever he's value betting, which would allow him to go down maybe as low as the 10 of Hearts. when he's bluffing, he's going to want to have a 7 or a 5 in order to reduce the amount of auto calls that Daniel will have, because when it comes to no heart hands that he calls with, it should only be 5-7, I think. Do you agree with that?
I agree. I think that was well put. Nice hand, Doug POLK. Yeah, I think I agree with you there. That's pretty. You guys should replay that whole analysis and learn how to bluff on 4 flush boards. And if you don't want to, you could just pay $9.99 and just learn more about how to bluff on the 3 flush board.
Gonna put out a 10-minute course on 4 flush bluffs. Use that hand. Wrap it. Done.
Done. But then if you change the river to the ace of hearts, it's a completely different game.
Actually, if you change it to the ace of hearts, it then favors Doug a lot, I think.
Yeah, could be true.
I think he starts to gain a lot more value hands.
Big bet. We're still on table 2 from Doug. I like this. Turn 8 of spades.
We are currently down an LDS rabbit hole in the chat. My apologies.
The chat's cool, man. They're in for whatever. Like, whatever you want to talk about, they're in. They're talking about Romney. Everything goes.
That's right.
3 bet from Daniel on table 1. Call. Jack 7-4. On table 2, the action went big bet, and then check back turn, river king, bluff, and then a fire.
75% here on Jack 7-4. I like this on the rainbow texture a lot.
Feels smaller than that. I could be wrong.
57 into 72.
I might have missed it. Okay, yeah. Okay. Turn deuce. Probably, but it's a Badoogie deuce, which is definitely going to increase bet frequency, but I don't think it's going to bring in like the overbets. I like this winner.
Yeah, I agree. Basically, just forces most of Doug's floats to give up.
Yeah, I agree. That's
he's not really going to have anything better than like week 1 pairs.
What do you say at 27 is too late to start med school? No. Why? Why would you ever put a cap on yourself? Like, I don't care if you start med school at fucking 40 years old. Like, if that's what you want to do, if that's your passion, who cares? You're gonna put in like somewhere between 4 and 8 years in med school, and you'll be out and you'll do what you want to do. I think especially those careers that are like professional careers, like specialist careers, kind of like lawyer, doctor. There's a lot of people that start late. Like, they go into a career and then they go back and switch, you know? So,
well, it is kind of tough because those careers also come with aging out. Like, my dad was forced into early retirement as a computer scientist once he hit 58. You know, mainly just because there was such an influx of new talent for cheaper. So like a lot of those specialist careers come with a high price tag as you get tenured, and most companies are incentivized to just like be done with you earlier than otherwise. So like if you start your medical career at like 40 or 50, the job market's probably going to be a lot more competitive than if you were a resident at 28.
Do what you love, man. Go. Just go. Don't fucking listen to the numbers and shit. You'll figure it out.
Oh no. Oh no. God damn it.
Three-fourth pot winner. 140K for Daniel Both tables over 100,000 for Daniel. Very good day so far. Turn king of clubs after the flop c-bet.
I think we should see some big bets out of Doug here.
Yeah, I think like anything better than king queen for value is a lot.
Yeah, I think it's a really good board texture. I think it's a really good board texture for like pot and a half size overbet. Kind of have to be careful you're not doing it with too many hands, I suppose, but that qualifies as a check back for sure.
Seems cool.
Really, yeah, really good bluff candidate for Daniel as well. Well played by both.
We are now approaching in 1 hour of overtime for these players. Although we don't know. We don't know how long it'll go. I do feel like today is probably the one day that I am not as concerned / critical over Daniel going over.
Yeah, I agree.
Because I feel like he is actually playing very, very sharp. Like, not that I know that he wasn't playing sharp or wasn't playing sharp other days, but today it's a clear that he.
Well, we also know that like he's just had 7 to 10 days to put in grind time study wise.
Right.
So it's like this is your opportunity to like really get out there and implement, and it's working. So I would say that like he'd be more incentivized to quit early if things were not going his way.
For sure. Comes with the 40% on table number 1. It's called.
It's a weird one to lose to there. Curious, like what Daniel's hand is that's checking down worse than Queen 7.
Did all 5 cards of Daniel's play? Maybe he also had a queen. Maybe sure. Maybe a jack.
I feel like those hands don't carry very much showdown value at that point, though. Oh, Lily, you love it. Look at him in his Ivan Drago pose. Lean as can be. We cut the package out for you. What more could you ask for?
People going hard on the doctor talk. I'm telling you, man, you can throw anything out there. They'll run with it. You know what I'm saying?
Everything polarizes at some point, no matter what it is. You want to convert it to big blinds, or you want cash? Polarization. Boom. Can you be a doctor at a certain age or not? Boom. Are Mormons trying to gather all of our inner thoughts to convert us over into being LSD after death? Boom.
Oh my god, that's crazy. Texas is not West. Boom. Like, it's crazy, bro.
Some things aren't even debatable and they still polarize.
I mean, I don't know, man. It looks like it's smack dead in the middle of the country. Like,
that's not how it's delineated. The country's not split.
Yeah, I understand.
That's why the mid.
Okay.
That's why the Midwest.
Let's go. Yeah. Okay. So Texas is not Midwest. I've never heard anyone say Texas is Midwest. Like, no one's ever been like, oh yeah, let's go to Dallas. It's in the Midwest. No one's ever said that before.
Mid-Southwest.
No, I mean, how many labels are we gonna throw on this thing? Like,
that's the point. Is people don't. You don't have to be so pedantic. It's just west of the Mississippi. That's all that matters. And then if you want to go further, it's south.
Okay.
It tried to succeed. Obviously, it's considered south.
Sure, I give up. It's South Central.
It's not.
I don't think the Earth is flat.
I think South Central was only in
LA.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Big pot brewing on the left table. Gets called 30,000 in the middle. It feels as if Daniel needs a queen or a flush to have to continue through the turn.
Yeah. I imagine he's gonna have a lot of Queen X that is gonna choose to block. Oh, Kings makes sense.
Let's go, my man. I guess this was a 3-bet pot. Makes a lot of sense.
Black
Big
Sun
check
says,
raise. Man, this guy's coming in. He's coming in with the flames.
oh yeah, this is a big one. 15,000. So this is about a pot size check raise, a little bit more than pot. They're super deep. There's still room for a shove behind.
Someone in the chat's asking 7-8. I don't think 7-8 might do this. It might be too thin for 7-8. 4-5 makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, 4-5 is a good hand to do this with.
Yeah, very good bluffing candidate. Unlucky that he ran into a flush.
Looks
Black
like
Sun says,
I think a break is coming or we're done.
What makes you think that?
Just a little thing that I mean, we'll see. But yeah,
Black Sun says, from the Netherlands, and people say Scandinavians and Dutch people are alike. Which country comes close to America if you had to pick one? Obviously Canada.
Daniel sits out on table 1. This is the first time I've seen Doug sit out as well. We'll see. Stop. That's crazy.
Oh man, that's hilarious.
Let's see. This could be a break or it could be over. They are at a little over the 3-hour mark now.
Shout out to everybody who's watching. Please, if you haven't already, hit the like and subscribe button. We appreciate you guys supporting us. I know we're a little bit on the smaller side compared to the other channels, but
and that's it.
You know, nice little community here. GG today to Daniel. He had a good day.
Yeah, it looks like we'll update the numbers as soon as we can, but the final tally, it looked like 110,000 or just about. I
think after that last pot, it was probably a little less.
Let's hope not. Let's hope that the people under the table that are running all these graphics, they worked quick. You know, they got it right away.
Yep,
so great session. I thought Daniel played phenomenally well.
Yep.
I'm. If you guys want to see his post-game interview, you feel free to go to the GG channel. I'm definitely not against that. I will be watching his post-game interview for sure. So with that in mind, I'm glad you guys were all able to tune in. I don't think they're playing. Are they playing again tomorrow or no?
Wednesday
night? Wednesday. Okay, so Wednesday we'll be back. I hope you all are able to join us. We'll try to figure out where Texas is. If it's in the south, central, west, east. Maybe that people from Texas divided into 3. I don't know. You know what I mean? I'm gonna try to figure it out. There's a lot of things going on right now. Like Louisiana is now like west of the Mississippi, so it might be west. So yeah, there's a lot of things to figure out. Somebody told me, I don't know what happened to the Dominican Republic. It's just rich folk that came. I don't know if I was part of the rich folk or the poor folk or they combined them together and middle class. So I heard I might be getting $600. I don't know. Like, I don't know what I'm gonna do with it. Bitcoin keeps going up. Hope you're all in that mix. And have fun out there. Stay away from South Central. Good night.
See you guys Wednesday.